Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for your time. This is a three-part live. A lot of subject matters to digest pertaining to missing Taylor Casey. She's from Chicago. She's missing in the Bahamas. I'm going to bring you an update, latest information. Missing firefighters who were found in Tennessee. I'm going to play a little bit of that commentary. The mother's concerns. Mr. Chandler's, his mom, she does not want to talk at the moment, but she has some concerns pertaining to emotional abuse of men. We're going to dissect that briefly, and then we're going to talk about missing Bryson Mure. Thank you for your time. The first update is pertaining to presidential immunity. The Supreme Court has voted 6-3 that some immunities will not affect a presidential candidate if they exacted measures in an official capacity. But if indeed he or she did something in an unofficial capacity, then they could stand trial for those nefarious deeds. That's coming down from the Supreme Court. Some polls have been done pertaining to Mr. Biden and his President Biden and his debate with Donald Trump. He's not been favored by some to run due to his age and cognitive issues. So that's the latest developments pertaining to President Biden. Polls have been done pertaining to him. The Kornacki poll shows his performance wasn't the best. And then there was also another poll done about his concerns for his age, and as I said, cognitive reasoning. Lori Vallow will stand trial in February of 2025. Defense has a lot of information to gather, 100,000 plus pages to decipher through. So February 2025 will be the projected trial date for her. Let me go through my notes because I did write it down. She'll have a hearing September 6th at 9 a.m., February 10th, 8:20 a.m. of 2025, and then a trial date set for February 24th on a Monday, 2025. That's the latest pertaining to Lori Vallow, day bail. And the former mayor of New York, Mr. Giuliani, has been disbarred in New York as court finds he repeatedly told lies. So if you need that information, it's also on my community page. Let's get down to this business pertaining to the firefighters who were found here in Tennessee, deceased inside of Reagan Anderson's car. Thank you for joining me. Court TV is the source. Please take the polls on my community page. Feel free to post your comment under that information. The videos, check out my shorts in the queue. I did about 30 videos yesterday for your enjoyment and entertainment and knowledge of said information. Feel free to comment on those said short 15-minute clips, the polls, the video posted to my community page, and also live streams, such as the one that you are now visibly hearing. Thank you so much.
Reagan's toxic reaction to Chandler going out on a date.
Let's start back at the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the Vault Excel.
Now for what's trending in true crime, the search for two missing Georgia firefighters has come to a tragic end. The bodies of Reagan Anderson and Chandler Kuhbander were recovered in Tennessee on Sunday. The two were last seen in Georgia almost a week ago. And Chandler's mom spoke to us here on Opening Statements on Friday. She told us about Reagan's toxic reaction to Chandler going out on a date.
And she found his car and where they were at and came and keyed his car while he was on a date. And he called the police. She subsequently went to jail and bonded out on her own. But during that time, she was calling and texting my son because she's terrified for her to lose her job. They are great firefighters. This is just, she's not in the right headspace at all.
Now, we reached back out to Jane Kuhbander after hearing about Chandler's death. And although she says she's not ready to speak, she hopes that her son's death draws attention to the stigma of abuse on men, referring to emotional abuse. Our question this morning, the biggest red flags in the case of Kuhbander. Let's bring in our guests. Joining me now, retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Kuhbander, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borchardt, and retired criminal defense attorney Kirk Nurmi. Great to see you all. We heard about the toxicity, the red flags. Mom Jane knew it all. She had the bad feeling, and sadly, she was right. As we look at this case and looking at it objectively, I want to ask each of you the things you saw as the biggest red flags here. Agent Kuhbander, would you start us off, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. Thank you for having me. First of all, anytime when you have a relationship that begins with threatening, threats and instability and verbal assaults and accusations, the things that we've been hearing about that occurred in this relationship, and then you have it followed up with something physical such as that key strike against the car. That's when things start getting elevated and that person is willing to take a physical offense toward the person that they're angry at. So to me, that was the biggest indication of serious trouble afoot.
Yes. Kirk Nurmi, to you next, please. A lot of people wondering if we're going to see results from this investigation indicating a murder-suicide. Your thoughts on that possibility, please.
Well, that's certainly possible given what we've heard, like Jennifer mentioned, the acts of violence is that crossing of the line, that someone is willing to break the law. I think we see a lot of these people, when we talk about red flags, their identity becomes so consumed by the relationship that they fear the end of the relationship is really going to be the end of who they are. So that's certainly a possibility that needs to be explored, and I don't want to speculate at this point in time, but at the same time, yes, that crossing the line into violence, it makes it seem like that's certainly a very good possibility, Julie.
Right, Kirk, thank you for that. Last but certainly not least, Franz Borchardt, I want to go to you on this. What are you thinking about this morning as we get into this investigation?
What I'm thinking about is how preventable this is, right? And it's becoming more and more normal, Julie, and that's the scary part, right? It's becoming more, we're seeing headlines of toxic relationship leads in this, and it shouldn't be normal. It's very preventable, and maybe if there's any kind of value in what's happened to these two individuals is we can all have a little bit deeper conversation with those we care about that are in toxic relationships to say, hey, look, there is a way out. You can get out. It doesn't have to end this way. And this is what is sadly happening around the country right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Franz. Great point. Before we end this discussion, if someone you know is in crisis, please call or text 988 to reach the Suicide in Crisis Lifeline.
All right, that's Court TV, everybody. So you hear this gentleman saying preventable. Well, the flip side of that is, yes, a person can leave a relationship, cut off all contact, but that does not have anything to do with the mindset of the other person. If the other person is determined to exact harm to that person and their belongings or entities surrounding them, and then their thyself, no one has control over that. So what were the red flags? The obvious. She probably calling excessively, visiting, going by his home, probably trying to talk to him on the job. See, this is why I kept saying this is a recipe for disaster, working in the same place. How is this going to work? You're in a small space. Most fire halls are not big. So you're in the same place, same existence. Whether you go in another room, a coffee room or whatever to try to sit in there, somebody's going to feel uncomfortable being around their comrades because they're trying to avoid the other person. So what was it like on their job? This is a very deep situation because they work together. It's not just your typical somebody got angry, mad, unraveled, mental illness, popped off. They work together. So imagine the tension on the job. Imagine not wanting to go to your job because of somebody else. You want to avoid them at all costs because you see they're spiraling out of control. So imagine what it was like on their job. Imagine other people having to get involved. Who's to say she wasn't arguing with him on the job, nitpicking on the job, saying things out of the way to him on the job? We also have to ask that. Was her job in jeopardy even before she keyed the car? Was she saying things out of the way? What was he saying to her? What was he saying to his coworkers? What was she saying to the coworkers? See, it's way deeper than just the possible unaliving of a man and then self. That's the worst part of the story. But imagine the jump off, because there's always a jump off. They've been dating since high school, in their 20s, still dating, but it's not working, whatever the issues were. The null and void at this point. He's still dealing with her, talking to her, answering phone calls, texts, possibly meeting up with her. What would be even worse if he was still having sexual relations with her? Because we know this is misleading to a person if they have feelings for you and you're still dilly-dallying around. So was he still betting her? Imagine that. Get a little quick sex and then push her off to the side. Don't answer the phone. Don't be bothered. That will most definitely send a person over, which it has. In this case, in other cases as well. Was she reaching out to his family? Because I believe he had moved back home with his family. They lived together at one time. Don't know how long it was. Don't really know why they broke up or what was going on in their relationship. But you can imagine this was probably a really toxic vow situation. We don't know. Somebody will have to come forward to say what they heard and what they learned up until he walked and got in that car. The sad part of this story, besides the deaths of these two young people, is that the mother is claiming that he was forced into the vehicle. Now, police are denying that allegation because naturally they have footage showing him walk to the car or walk out of line from the gym, and it doesn't show anybody forcing him into a vehicle, anyone pulling out a weapon, bat, gun, so on and so forth. So I feel like the mother, naturally, she needs to blame this young lady at this point because she knows possibly she's the culprit behind the demise of her son. So now it's final now. I got my answer. My child's been found. He's not alive. I'm pissed off. I'm angry. But your son walked out there willingly to her car, to his car, which is soever, because they say he was out of sight. So wherever he walked to, you got to prove somebody forced him into a vehicle. And from my understanding, what they have on video is him walking into his job, walking back out, walking in the parking lot, and then out of sight. So you got to prove someone forced him into a car. But from video stance, he's walking on his own and then out of sight. We did not hear that anybody else was involved, anybody else found in the car with them, unalive. No altercations in the parking lot. So we're just going to assume he either walked to his car or he walked to her car. He got a call or a text from her and walked out. Well, I'll go see what she wants. Let me see what's going on with her. I won't doubt that she was frantic and called him, saying what she's going to do to herself. He got scared, walked out there. But if that is how it played out, that was not the best thing to do, as you see, the end result. Because let's be truthful, this was not going to be able to continue. See, that's the whole point of a jump off. It has to end at some point. It cannot go on, the jump off. And that's what a person who's not well doesn't understand. They want to get what they can get, but they don't get that the other person doesn't want to play these reindeer games day for day, hour for hour, minute for minute, week for week. It has to end. And so that's why if she is the culprit behind them not being alive, she put an end to it. Obviously, she could not cope with the fact that he had moved on. As I said, I don't know what happened in their relationship. Don't know if her mental illness or issues caused them to separate. Was she physically abusive to him? Was she mentally abusive? You hear the mother saying to Court TV she wants to bring awareness to emotional abuse of men. Was he emotionally abused by Reagan Anderson? Did she emotionally abuse this young man? Did she play reindeer games with him? Do and say things to make him feel sorry for her? He just didn't have the gumption to just cut her completely off. I don't know. But many people get sucked into this type of lifestyle because the person can't move on. The other person can't, won't, try. Now, as you heard this one gentleman speaking in his commentary, it's avoidable. Well, we know it's avoidable, but it's still a two-way street. Person number one has to remove himself or thyself. Mr. Chandler did not. Because the average person would say, well, why would you go back around her? She just keyed your car. Shouldn't be talking to her. Shouldn't be messaging her. So see, we don't even know if he was talking to her. Only the mother, they decided to release his phone records and text messages to see what they were saying to each other. Some of it might be not good to hear and read on his part. That's why I said, you don't really know if he was still dilly-dallying around with her. And also trying to go out here and date other women as well. Could be two-way street. Don't know. We'll wait to see if the father wants to release that information. But it's a two-way street. You can't have one without the other. Because even if you cut a person off, decide to quit talking, messaging, you don't allow other people to intervene and pass messages. Because I was curious if she was bothering his family, asking, where is he? Can we talk? Blah, blah, blah. The point is, you don't control her mind. You couldn't control her mindset. And that's the main problem. Because whether he dealt with her or not, later on, or kept dealing with her, or kept feeling sorry for her, kept talking, you couldn't control her. And indeed, if she's the culprit behind the unaliving of both, which many people believe she is, you don't have control over her. So that's why I said in the last live streams, is she diagnosed with something? Some type of mental disorder? Was she on meds? How long has she had thoughts of suicide? Did she write notes often? Did she send him notes? Did she send him text messages? Did she threaten him a lot in the relationship about killing herself? Was she the type to always threaten herself when she got mad? See, we don't know. We have to wait to hear from somebody, and we have to see if somebody wants to reveal text messages, voicemails to her mindset and what the relationship was like. When did it go wrong? When did it go downhill? When did they start having problems? Who's going to come forward to tell an honest perspective of these two? As I said before, thank God they don't have children. Amen. Naturally, his parents are distraught. They've lost their child. And this is a hard thing to comprehend. The death of your own kid, no matter how your child dies. Nobody wants to bury their child. And this is a sad situation. And yes, it could be avoidable, but it depends on the people in the story. As I said, you don't have control over a person's mindset. So that's where you have the problem. It's easy to say, it's avoidable. A lot of things are avoidable. Come on, let's be truthful. Okay? Everything's about reaction. Do I do this in response to what they did or said? We know she didn't have to do this crime, but she chose to. And a lot of people don't really want to kill themselves. Let's keep it real. They're lashing out. They want attention, but they don't know how to cope in the moment of the adversity. And that may be possible what was wrong with her. She just could not cope with life problems and the fact that the relationship was not working. Chandler Kuhbander's mom says she wants to bring awareness to men abused by women. Do you think her son was emotionally abused by Reagan? 91% says yes, 9% not sure, one comment out of 11 votes. I feel she may have put a GPS tracker on his vehicle because she didn't just run into him by chance where he was working out. And then on his date with someone who knew she was obsessed with him and was the epitome of it. I can't have him. Nobody will, in my opinion. So That didn't answer my question. I asked, did she emotionally abuse him? Anyway, 91% of you believe she did emotionally abuse Chandler Kuhbander. Prayers to both families, friends, community, fire department, where they work. As I said before, I'm sure it's very difficult for these people to dissect the fact that now they have two comrades who are no longer living, all because somebody could not move on and accept that the relationship was no longer. What information will we gather from friends, associates, co-workers of both of their behaviors and their interactions? That's my commentary pertaining to Chandler and Reagan. Taylor Casey, missing from the Bahamas. I did a lot of shorts on her this morning. Feel free to go to YouTube Q to check out those shorts. Where is she? What happened to her? Who has the key, holds the key to the information of this African-American woman missing in the islands? There's a lot of nonsense pertaining to this retreat, their attitude towards her family, her mother, Miss Colette, and the friend. And I feel like this is a bad situation. As I have said before, America has released alerts of where to go, not to go. So they're telling you, do not travel to these islands, Jamaica, Bahamas, Mexico. You want to go down there, that's on you. That's on you. That's your choice. That's your money. That's your livelihood. I frankly would not go. When you look at the demographic of where Mr. N was filming, how far the nearest hotel was to where the retreat was, that's a long stretch of walk. And I'm just trying to understand getting on the island with my luggage and toting it all the way down that beach. I'm trying to decipher, if there's no roads, then how do the people get from the concrete to down there where that little retreat was? I'm confused. Maybe someone can enlighten me. But Mr. N says there are no roads. So you're still walking a long way, if this is true, down a beach with your luggage. Who wants to do that? I don't. I don't want to walk a long way if I want to decide I want to go get a drink or mingle into the city limits or onto the island. I don't want to walk a long way. But you got to count how long it takes to walk from place to place down a beach. And then you got to count darkness. All this is fuzzy to me. A bunch of fuzzy nonsense. All right, everybody. Next commentary, Taylor Casey.
It's been 8 days since Taylor Casey was last seen. She was on Paradise Island in the Bahamas, attending the Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat. The news comes as a shock to her friends and family back here in Chicago.
I want all of Chicago, all the world to know that she is very loved and is a wonderful person, that her disappearance is very unlike her. She's not one to just, to disappear.
Delia Kropp is emotional, hearing that her longtime friend simply hasn't been found. The Royal Bahamas Police Force issued this missing person bulletin this week and says Taylor's phone was found in the ocean. Her friends tell me she is so loved and a part of many social circles.
Very friendly, very, very positive, a really good sense of humor. She was a very good friend. She would reach out to you if you needed anything whatsoever.
I did connect with another attendee of the yoga retreat. She says she doesn't want to share her name, and she never met Taylor. She arrived 2 days after she went missing, but she says this about the situation. While the ashram quickly reported her missing to authorities and were cooperative in their efforts, they did not inform guests staying at their facility of the situation. They still had not made any announcements as of Wednesday, June 26th, when I cut my trip short and returned home early out of safety concerns. Leaders of the yoga retreat did post about Taylor's disappearance on Instagram, though they have not returned our request for comment.
We're just really concerned that she not drop off the map, and that the authorities do their very, very best to find her.
The U.S. State Department is also involved in the investigation, confirming it will offer all resources available to help with the search.
All right. I'm going to try to get that name again of that place. Ashram. Very disturbing information. Royal Bahamas Police Force. What are you all actually doing to solve this crime or disappearance, rather, excuse me, of this young lady? Here you have a woman speaking about her in her living room. She's a nice young lady, friendly. Has to be a sad situation for a mother not to get information. Feel like she's getting the runaround by the police. And this retreat, yoga retreat. Savannah Yoga Ashram. Sivananda, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. What's really going on at this retreat? What are they really doing there? You always have to ask those questions. The young lady who spoke to the news and didn't want to identify herself, what's the problem? Why don't you want to identify yourself? You're not there. You don't have anything, any ties to the yoga retreat. You're back in the States. You cut your trips short because you was worried about your safety. So you're off the island now. You couldn't show yourself to speak. Why? Because you might change your mind and go back. The place is not going to be safe regardless. If you wait to go back tomorrow, if you go back 10 days from now. The island itself is not safe because of the inhabitants. That's the problem. And God forbid, people who are working and or visiting. Something you don't have any, there's nothing you can do. And once again, it's no different in this case with the kids who are not alive. You can't control other people. So I'm curious why you didn't want to show yourself. You said they did not let you know she was missing. Well, of course not. They want you to keep spending your money. They want you to stay longer. I don't want you to leave. Stay. We need your money. So how long was she planning to stay? Because allegedly she went down there early June, Taylor. So is this about money? Credit cards. What's the movement on the credit cards? Movements on phone. Can't get that. Royal Police has the phone, but won't return it to the mother, Miss Colette. She's gotten a runaround from the retreat staff. They've been very nasty to her. I'm going to play that commentary here in a minute. It couldn't be Queen. I must say, all these situations that I keep hearing and seeing, it just couldn't be me. I've been either stroked out or went to jail. I'm just going to tell the truth. I've been caught a charge. Right there on that damn island. I said, I want to talk to the owner. I want to know what the hell you got going on in this place. I want to know what the hell's going on here. I want to know what's the secret here. Phone found in the water, 56 feet in. Who found the phone? That's something I forgot to put in one of the shorts. Please check out my shorts. I did 30-something shorts pertaining to all these cases. And they're all making my head hurt because they're all ridiculous. Every one. This kid missing, this woman missing, these two kids unalive in a car in Tennessee. It's just all buffoonery. And it's just sad to see that this is, we've got craziness just walking around. Like I said, anybody can pop off, have a bad day. We're all human, but damn, come on. Unaliving people, hiding people. That woman can't be far. Like I said, when you watch the commentary with Mr. Eaton, Brian, you see the hotel in the distance versus where the retreat is. That's a nice walk. I don't know what it is in minutes, but it's a nice walk. It's a long stretch on a beach. You got to use common sense. Once you realize there's no car, there's no road, then everything's by foot. So where could she be? There aren't many options. Because I can't see a human dragging a body down to take it where? You're going to find it because it's an island. I'm confused. I'm utterly confused. Let's talk about the mom returning back to Chicago from this dirty island.
Family of a Chicago woman missing in the Bahamas is now pleading for more support from the U.S. government. 41-year-old Taylor Casey was last seen June 19th while attending a yoga retreat on Paradise Island.
A young lady called me and said, "Have you heard from Taylor?" And I'm like, I'm looking at the phone because I know she was from the yoga retreat. And then she said, "Taylor hasn't showed up for yoga classes."
Casey's mother traveled to the retreat last week and now says her visit was deeply unsettling. She says she had to beg to talk to students at the retreat and says it felt like the students were told what to say and what not to say. And Seymour says she saw no missing persons posters. Despite authorities saying they've spoken to a number of people and deployed drones, divers, and a canine unit, Seymour says, "I felt like the police did the bare minimum. Without U.S. government support, we may never find out what happened to my Taylor." Police were able to find Casey's cell phone in the ocean last week, but the family says authorities refused to turn over the phone.
We need Taylor in our lives. We miss Taylor. We need Taylor home. That's the bottom line. Please.
The family says Taylor would never just take off without telling them. Andrea from ABC News, New York.
Watch Bree.
All right, ABC 7 Chicago. All right. Let's not start spreading rumors about stuff we don't know anything about. Most people assume this girl killed this guy. There's no information he killed her. He had no reason to kill her. Why? He's the one that's moved on. Why is he going to kill her? Come on. Uneasy feeling. I guess so. You're somewhere in a foreign land. You can't get any information. They don't want the guests to speak to you about your child. Yeah. Uneasy feeling is putting it mildly. What happened to this young lady? Where is she? In the water, fell in the water, passed out, floated out to sea, altercation, thrown in the water. What? Drugged down to a beach by a man, a woman. What? Cat, dog, what? Like I said, from where that hotel sits to where the retreat is, that's a mighty long way to be dragging a body. Going to be kind of obvious. And it's not a place where it would look, cohesive to be what? Walking around with trash bags and rugs. What happened to her? Is she still on the island? Is she still in that retreat area? Allegedly, they had tents. You're going to hear conversations about a strange man walking around near her tent, so on and so forth. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it stinks. It stinks. The issue with her phone, it stinks. The mom can't check the phone personally, so she's now got to call the phone company to get the information pertaining to the phone. What will the phone logs reveal? Any suspicious phone calls, conversations, text messages? Was there altercation at the retreat? Altercation on the beach? Altercation at the hotel? For all we know, she walked down to that hotel to mingle, shop, met with foul play, got in the wrong car, Uber, taxi. See, we don't know. But then you got to ask yourself, well, then how did her phone get in the water at the retreat? Don't know. Did she get in a fight with somebody? Did she get tangled up in some type of altercation as far as a relationship? Maybe she had a hookup. It went bad. Somebody was jealous of her. Somebody didn't like something that she said. See, you don't ever know, because you'd be surprised how strangers can pop off and exact a crime over something stupid as a comment. You don't know. News Nation is the source. And yes, the State Department is stepping in. Amen.
Cooperating. I want to bring in Colette Seymour. They really cooperating. I want to bring in Colette Seymour, Taylor Casey's mother, and also welcome Emily Williams, Taylor's friend. Thank you both for being with me tonight. Last time I saw you, we were all in the Bahamas, and I was really hoping that next time I talk to you both that you would have Taylor with you. Unfortunately, that is not the case right now. But I want to start with you, Colette, with this yoga retreat. It's called Sivananda Ashram. You went to the Bahamas. You went there from Chicago to do your own investigation. You went to this ashram. What did you find, Colette?
That the people were kind of evasive, and we went in and we talked to them, and it was just hard to get answers from them. I asked them, could we talk to the students and stuff, and they were telling us no, the students what, and it took them a while to say, okay, if the students want to talk to you guys. I wanted to speak to Hannah, the young lady that called me and told me that my child was missing on June 20th, and I thought for sure that when I got there, I would see her. And she was there on the premises because we asked, but they would not let me talk to Hannah. So I just thought that was kind of strange because I would think, if I reported to someone that their child was missing and they came to this yoga retreat, that would be the first person I would want to talk to. But
let's interject here because this is about almost 9 minutes long. Hannah, who is Hannah? White, black, short, tall, fat? She's still on the island. What's her role? What does she know? Hannah, why did you call Miss Colette to tell her Taylor hadn't showed up for the yoga classes? Is that normal? Is that procedure? Who are you? What is your role to this yoga retreat? That's what I'd like to know, because all that's going to be relevant in the end. Who is Hannah? How did she get the mother's number? Ting, 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 ting. Because how would you get to her number if you're a stranger to her, such as a patron? So do you work for this retreat and you had access to personal information such as if something happens, blah, 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 emergency contact? I'm assuming that's a protocol at the retreat. Hey, give us the name of emergency contact in case you get hurt, have a stroke, blah, blah, blah. So does Hannah work for the retreat? The fact that Hannah was still there when Colette was there, when Colette and the friend came on to check to see about Casey's disappearance. I'm curious. Hannah, who are you? And why did these other staff members try to block you from talking to Colette? You called her. This is stupid to me. This sounds like the occult to me. This sounds cult-like too. Everybody's walking around chanting in robes and shit and yoga pants, and can't nobody talk because the missing girl's mom's here. You all that want those people to know on that island, all of you complicit in my book. That's how I feel. The retreat, you don't want nobody to know the girl missing because people are there spending their damn money and they got to walk down that stupid beach to get back to civilization. So we don't want them leaving and never coming back. Where's Gwyneth Paltrow? Let me talk to you, Gwyneth. You were promoting this bullshit on your social media pages. So what do you have to say? I think it's interesting. You haven't said anything. Oh yeah, I'm calling everybody out. Gwyneth! Hello, Gwyneth. You're somewhere laid up in some cushy ass penthouse in New York or LA while we've got a black woman down here missing. And I think it's interesting. You were promoting this place and you ain't said shit. You ain't said nothing. Oh my gosh, I feel so horrible. What happened? Why not? Why not come forward, Gwyneth? Who owns this place? Why haven't you reached out to Colette, or have you? Who owns it? Where do they live? On the island, overseas, Europe, UK, America, what? Who's the manager? How many staff members are there? How is it set up? Your living quarters? Closed up, doors closed, locks, what? Tents, what? Bathroom, showers, I want to know it all. Want to know it all. How many people were at the retreat when she was there? Number one. How many staff members? How many managers, assistant managers, rotating? Where do they live? So you got to think about all of that. Because they got to live on an island. If you're working there, somebody has to have a place to sleep. So where does everybody sleep and live? Why are you trying to tell the people not to talk to her? The guests. Oh, you are dirty down there. Didn't want those patrons to know, oh, one of the guests has disappeared. And Hannah, whoever Hannah is, they were keeping Hannah from Miss Colette. Oh. I'm sorry you can't talk to Hannah. She's in a class right now. I'm sorry you can't talk to the guests. They're in classes right now. What is this? You act like these are high schoolers taking the fucking SAT. Please don't disturb the guests. I smell bullshit.
They would not let me talk to Hannah, and she was on the premises. That was disturbing to me. Very disturbing to me.
Yeah, and I mean, Taylor had been there since the beginning of June. She was part of this. It's not like she had just been there a couple of days. She was part of this community that is supposed to be very loving. And now you show up as her mother, and they basically, it sounds like they just sort of blew you off.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they said Hannah was in a class. I mean, but being in a class is more important than coming and talking to me about my child being missing. I really had a problem with that.
Did you see any posters? When I was there, I didn't see any missing posters.
Not a one. Not a one. Not a one. Not even in the criminal investigation department at the Royal Bahamas Police. There was a whole wall of missing persons. And Taylor was not on it.
Emily,
I want you all to digest that. A wall with missing people and Taylor's photograph, picture, flyer is not on the missing persons wall. Why not? Stay woke, everybody. This woman went here to attend a yoga retreat, gone missing, reported missing, and you have a missing persons wall, and you don't even have her name up there. Sivananda Yoga Ashram. What the hell does that mean? Sivananda Ashram. Just a bunch of hocus pocus. Yeah, I said that. Why is her photograph not on the missing persons wall? Please explain it to us. Royal Bahamian Police.
What do you make of the police investigation? I mean, look, for some context here, the Bahamas' main industry is tourism. They obviously don't want people to be scared to go. They're already under a level 2 travel advisory from the State Department. Do you think that's interfering with a proper investigation here?
Absolutely, 100%. We heard repeatedly that things could not happen because they didn't want to disturb the tourists who were there. They didn't want to disturb the guests who were vacationing on the island. That was true when we went to the ashram, and they gave us a tour so we could see the place. And when we were there, just trying to understand where Taylor's tent was, where the beach was, where her phone was found, they said we were almost scolded when we were trying to take pictures of the premises, just time and time again from the authorities to make sure that we respect the guests' privacy. And the same is true, when we think that, we were not told that the entire premises of the ashram was searched. We were not told that the entire premises of the Atlantis Hotel was searched. And the reason that we were giving was that they wanted to respect the premises, just time and time again from the authorities to make sure that we respect the guests' privacy. And the same is true, when we think that, we were not told that the entire premises of the ashram was searched. We were not told that the entire premises of the Atlantis Hotel was searched. And the reason that we were giving was that they wanted to respect the privacy of the guests because they were on vacation.
Well, I don't understand that. Royal Police, Bahamian Police, did you search the ashram, all buildings, outbuildings, bathrooms, stalls, tents? Did you thoroughly search the whole island in which the retreat is on? Number one. Did you go up the damn beach and search in the general area? Did you go up to the nearest hotel and search in that general area, parking lots, inside the rooms, hotel rooms, laundry rooms, break rooms, whatever, utility rooms? Because we don't know how she got from point A to point B except for by foot. So did you check the general area from the hotel down to the retreat? Did you do that thoroughly? You'll probably never tell the truth. Because what people are going to say is, how can you investigate, but you're worried about other people's privacy? That makes no sense. So you're worried about other people's privacy, but yet Taylor was one of those people until she went missing. So let's say this is foul play. You're basically saying that she is of no relevance because she's now missing. So fuck her. Well, you say fuck her, you're saying fuck everybody else too. Because what's the difference between she and the other people on the island that are spending their money at retreats, hotels, resorts? It's all the same. And you all are brown-skinned people. She's brown-skinned. So what the hell's the problem here? Help me understand. But we've seen how you all navigate when the people go missing and get poisoned and fall out and pass out. It don't matter if you're white, black, or what. You all just don't seem to give a fuck. That's what it looks like to me. That's the reason why there's an advisory for people to stay their asses from down in these islands. Don't go down there. Because you think you're going to know better and do better, it doesn't work like that. Because it goes back to what I said earlier in this live stream. You don't have control over somebody else. And that's where the problem lies. The somebody else's, plural. So if this is foul play, you don't have control over some creepy crawling walking around trying to exact crimes against people. But what you got to ask yourself, where the retreat is, other people would have to be involved, because you got to be able to get her off there if that is your motivation, number one. Two, the water. You're going to have to wait her out. Hold her down. Then that means you'd have to tie her with something so she don't float back up. Stay woke. Three, a boat. Make it make sense. But there's no concern for Taylor. That's what it looks like to me. So when the police say, we don't want to disturb the guests, the tourists, you're basically saying you're being a hypocrite, because she was a guest, a tourist. What's the difference?
And so we're asking, what's more important, Taylor's safety, finding Taylor, or people enjoying their vacation? And so it seems clear to us that, yes, they're concerned about tourism, will prevent them from alerting the tourists to danger that's potentially in their midst, which, as we outlined in the press release, could still be true because we don't know what happened to Taylor.
Do you know, Colette, the cell phone? A lot of people have been asking me about the cell phone. We know your granddaughter was able to see that Taylor's cell phone pinged in the ocean. Where exactly was it found? Do you know?
They said 56 feet out. We asked how far was the phone in the water, and they said 56 feet. Yeah, no.
The thing that I worry about, why would anyone go in the ocean with their cell phone? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense.
That's what I want to know. That's what a lot doesn't make sense. The answers that we get, they didn't make sense to me. They did not make sense to me, and it's just disturbing.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. And I had to come home without my child, and we need answers.
What did you find out, Emily? Because again, you guys have had to do your own investigation here. In terms of witnesses, I mean, was there anyone else that saw anything strange around the time that Taylor went missing?
When the ashram leadership finally allowed us to talk to some of the guests and participants who were willing to speak with us, there was one woman who they said was the last person to see Taylor. and that person had seen Taylor walking on the beach. That same person also told us that that very same day, a man walking from the direction of the Atlantis Hotel, fully clothed, in tennis shoes on the beach, approached her while she was sitting alone and said that he claimed to have been from Chicago and that he wanted to take a yoga class. So he followed her onto the property of the ashram. She went her way and he went another way. And then, she said that she hadn't seen him again. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that, we think is strange. Also, while we were meeting with the ashram leadership, the manager of the ashram had said that the Monday before Taylor went missing, that there was a man with a walkie-talkie who was found on the platform where Taylor's tent was. Now, they said that when that man with the walkie-talkie saw an employee, he went in the other direction and walked off of the property. Ashram leadership said that they reported that to the Paradise Island Police. However, the Royal Bahamian Police Force, they never told us about that. And as far as we know, they have zero leads in this case.
Colette, what was your last conversation with Taylor like?
It was nice. Taylor called me and was like, hey, Ma, and sent the picture along with the picture with Taylor, standing in the water and the waves with the beautiful water. The water is actually beautiful. And she said, I love you, Ma. And I said, I love you too, Taylor. And we were talking about yoga. And I sent Taylor a picture of, because we were on vacation, I sent Taylor a picture of us doing yoga. We were getting ready to actually go to a yoga class. So I sent Taylor a picture of all the mats and stuff and said, look, Taylor, we're doing yoga too. Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to stay on the story, Colette and Emily. Please let us know if anything develops. There's a lot going on in the world right now and people are distracted, but again, like I said, people don't just vanish, and this is a story that deserves a lot of attention. And a lot of people vacation in the Caribbean. So we appreciate you coming on, and please let us know if there's any developments.
Okay, thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
All right, everybody, News Nation is the source. A lot of information there. One moment. Send a message out. Weigh in. Hold on. I'm messaging somebody. Okay. Woo. Wow. Taylor Casey, 41 years of age, missing in the Bahamas. What happened? What happened to Taylor Casey? Let's start with Hannah. Who are you and what is your relation to this yoga retreat? Is Hannah still on the island and at the retreats? Number one. How old is she? What's her stake in the game? How did you get her telephone number? Once again, is Hannah a staff member? If she's a staff member, why didn't you speak to Miss Colette and the friend, Miss Williams? Help me understand. What's the point? What's the point in notifying her if she touches down and you don't talk to her? And I'm like Miss Colette. I would be offended as well. I'm here to see about my missing child, and you don't have two words to say to me, and you obviously were told I was there. It's very rude and it's disrespectful under the circumstances. Very rude and disrespectful. So is Hannah still there on the island? Does she work there? Is she a staff member? What's her stake in the game? What does she know about this young lady? What was Taylor doing before she went missing? Was it night, day, morning, what? In a tent, on the beach, walking on the beach, in a group of people, walking along with somebody? What? Walked up the beach near the hotel to do some other shopping or sightseeing? What? Who holds the answer? Who holds the key? Who's this mystery fella? Just somebody passing through? Somebody who was at the retreat as well? Just so happened to be from Chicago? Does he know anything about the disappearance of Miss Casey? Phone found 56 feet into the water. How did the phone get there? Fell out of her pocket? She threw it in the water? Somebody else threw it in there. Can't get off the island. There's no streetcars, pavement. Somebody needs to do a tour and show us from point A to point B so we can get a better understanding of the demographic, the stretch of beach, the mileage. Because I'm a visual person. You can't tell me where something is. I need to see it for myself to make sense out of it. Because I'm confused. So she's not in the retreat. She's not in any of the outbuildings. That leaves the water. Or she was carried out by somebody long distance walking, carrying up near the hotel or past the hotel. So what's true? How do the people get to that retreat once they get off the airplane? That's what I want to know. Show me how you got to the retreat. Mr. N, that's what you should have showed us. The moment you walked out the airport, got in your car, chauffeur, whatever, show it to us so we can put it in our head. Count the minutes. That's the only way you can make it make sense, because something's off here. We got this mystery Hannah. We got this mystery guy talking to her or being around Taylor. We've got evasive staff members who are too concerned about other patrons, but yet Taylor was a patron. Do you see how ignorant this is? You all act like she's a damn drone and she just fell out of the sky onto the beach. Like she's a stray. That's how you all are treating her mother. Like she's a stray cat or dog. And she just fell out of the sky or she just washed up on shore. She spent money just like everybody else. And sadly, she's missing. So treat her with some respect. The State Department is now involved in the investigation to Taylor Casey's disappearance. I pray they get answers. Go down there and shake that retreat. Shake every damn door loose. Let them know this ain't what's going to be. You're not getting ready to be making money off of people. And then when something terrible happens to them, you want to throw your hands up. Don't shoot. Wasn't me. Oh, no, it don't work like that. Because you're making money off these people. So Taylor is no different than anybody else that frequents the island for whatever reason. They flew in, drove in, doesn't matter. they are of value. Because we already know these people are poor that live on these islands. They don't have a pot to piss in. So therefore, without the tourists, they don't get paid. They don't make no money. This is a money-making business. The islands, resorts, entertainment, drinks, souvenirs, it's all the same. Without the tourists, you have nothing. All you have is beach and the ocean. You can get a beach and an ocean anywhere, and that's how I look at it. And as you hear Miss Colette talk about how pretty the water is, she's trying to stay upbeat, but you know she's downtrodden at this point because she needs to know where her child is. She has every right to know. And I'd be pissed off you talking crazy to me. As the friend said, they were trying to scold them about talking to the guests and the tourists. Oh, we don't want you to disturb them. Well, my daughter was a guest and a tourist. The hell you mean? This is ridiculous. This is why you don't need to be going down here to these places spending your damn money. You don't have a clue that you're going to make it back to get on the boat, cruise ship, or the airplane. You all better stay woke. This is not a game. These people are thirsty, they're hungry, they're evil, a lot of these people. They will do anything to survive. That also goes for creepy crawlies getting on airplanes, trains to get down there. They're just as sick as the islanders. It's one big cesspool. Scheme, scam, all of that. So what we got to ask ourselves, who's running this ashram? Are they legit? The people who work there, are they legit? Any crimes, any sexual assault? Because I want to know about her credit card and debit card. Has the mother checked her bank statements? When was the last time she spent the card, rolled the card? Any type of nefarious deeds pertaining to Taylor's name, identity. You got to ask all those questions. Right now, I'd take her name and I'd sign it up and have her name put on a roster. Anything flags that somebody's using her identity. Because see, we don't really know what the hell's going on here. But I say there's something sinister at hand. This is bad. Prayers for Miss Colette Seymour. Because there's something off here. Somebody knows something and we know she couldn't have gotten far. And if she got far off the island, that means somebody had help. That's common sense. They had to have help. Because just from looking in the distance, when Brian Inton was filming the other day, no way you would carry a body if it's indeed foul play. You're not carrying a body from that retreat all the way down that beach. Ain't no way. Hannah. What do you know, Hannah? What's your stake in the game, Hannah? Why did you call Miss Colette? I want to know what's going on with you. I want to know who you are. Do you work for this ashram? You call this lady, but then when she touches down, poof, voila, you're hiding. They're hiding you out. Why are they hiding you? Who are you? Who are you for them to hide? See, that's why you know it's some bullshit. Because how does somebody know who Hannah is? How does somebody know that Hannah called Colette? You all better wake up. I'm woke. If I'm a visitor to a retreat resort, these people don't know me. The staff don't know me. The patrons don't know me. So make it make sense. So why would you be hiding a patron if you don't know she met up with Taylor and or had Taylor's personal information? So that would leave Hannah as a staff member. You still would have to know that she reached out to Colette, even if she's a staff member. You all better pay attention. Because I'm not a dodo bird. That's the one thing I'm not. Somebody knows she's made contact with Colette. It's obvious. So that leads us to believe she works there, which isn't. So Hannah, why don't you come forward and just speak your truth and be done with it, and stop these games you're playing with these ashram people. Because in the end, if you know something about the disappearance of Taylor, the ashram is not going to hold the secret long. Because if I was the mother, I would hold the ashram responsible, because that is where my child was last visiting. So therefore, Miss Colette, I would hire me a lawyer, and I'd be sending some letters to the owner of the ashram. And you can best believe once they get that little letter, they know it's going to be formal, and they know it's going to get out to the general public and the news, and everybody in America and all around the United States and the world is going to know about this ashram, and that people are missing at the ashram. And nobody cares about the ashram patrons. Checkmate. And let's see how they feel when ashram is on CNN News as a place not to travel. Get a lawyer, ma'am. Get a lawyer. And tell them we will be holding you responsible for the disappearance of my child until you can cough up some information. You and your friends. That's how you do that. Because that's the last thing the ashram wants. That's the last thing the hotel down the beach wants, and any other business. They don't want people not coming to the island. But obviously it's not safe because we have a whole human missing. So this is some old crazy nonsense of checking in and not checking out, literally. This is BS. Prayers to Miss Colette. This is bad business. 1 second, everybody. One more subject to go. Be a Winded Live. 3-part live. Feel free to go back and replay. Get the information pertaining to the couple out of Georgia. Ex-couple were found deceased up here in Tennessee in a car. Reagan Anderson's car. Second subject is Stacey Kayla missing out of the Bahamas. And the third situation we're going to discuss is Bryson Mure. Yeah, I got some choice words for these church folks. I am public enemy number 1 up here. I'm the one you don't want. I don't intimidate easily. Someone posted to the Queen's channel that they know about this family, Mr. Daniel Mure, that you had lost your mind some years back. And then they erased their comment, probably out of fear that somebody would retaliate against them, but I don't know why. They posted the comment, then they erased it after trying to contact me. So I'm waiting for a reply so they can give me more information about Daniel Mure. Because I don't need this person coming up missing. It's a lot of nonsense. Once again, where is Taylor? What will her phone records reveal? Bank statements, credit card, debit card, any movement on it? Weird guy on the beach? Not weird guy, who is he? Just somebody passing through, making conversation? Did she have an altercation with anybody at the retreat? Floating through, on the beach? Foul play? Words exchange? Hook up? What happened? See, we don't know. Evasive commentary from staff. They're more worried about tourists. This is all BS. Patrons. No respect for this young lady because she's a patron and also a tourist. So, treating her like she's chopped liver. Oh, well, so what? Big deal. She's missing. Next. Is the retreat responsible for the disappearance of this Black woman? Did somebody do or say something to this woman, or she said something to them they didn't like, and they hurt her, harmed her, put her in the water? I don't know. It's strange because she can't be that far. That's the point. The only way she's far is if she walked up toward the hotel and the city limits and hung out with some people or got tangled up with some people. That's it. That's it. On that beach area, up there near the hotel, or she's ventured out, either by water, foul play by water, or she tangled up with some people and there's foul play. What's the truth? Last subject of the hour. Bryson Mure. Please check out my live stream from last night, where we take a deep dive into this child's life. Is the church involved in the disappearance of Bryson Mure? We learned that there are two different church names involved with the father, David Mure, and his wife, Kristen. I do believe he has other wives. Don't know their names. Don't care. They're dodo birds too. All y'all sitting around here sharing a grown man. For what reason? The same man that's beating up his kid. We're going to take a deep dive into the church. Mr. Mure, Kristen, the wives. Who are these people? How long has he been wrapped up in the church? The person who commented on my channel, as I said, erased their comment for some reason, but they're saying that he lost his mind years ago. There's something wrong with Mr. Mure. And I can't even repeat the fucking comment back because they've erased it. Mr. Mure, where is your son? We'll stop these games. Where is your son? I brought you commentary about the grandmother speaking out last night. She feels like she doesn't understand why her daughter would allow a man to beat her child, beat the grandson. I did have harsh words for the grandmother for the obvious reasons. The child is missing. You saw obvious abuse. We do not know when you actually called the police, and you waited good until the mother came and picked him up. And that was just not how it should have went. You should have took him to the police as soon as you saw his face. I put a pinned comment under that video that I just remember she had went to meet her halfway. So at some point she saw the child was battered. Either looking in the car, got in the car. Did she say something to her daughter, Kristen? Hey, what happened? What's wrong with his face? Or did they discuss it later? What was the mother's answers if she asked? What happened to the boy? This case is off. This is some BS pertaining to this boy. FBI agent speaks to News Nation pertaining to the disappearance of Bryson Mure. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ began to 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Where is Bryson Mure? Is this church involved? You're going to hear information pertaining to this church. It is not good. If the allegations are true, is this brainwashing, fraud? Somebody is the head knocker. Could it be Mr. McDowell? He's getting all the proceeds. And one thing it came to Queen, that I now know why the trucks and cars are in this foundation's name. Tax write-offs. Anything dealing with the church organizations is tax-free. Ding, ding, ding. So they'll put everything on one compound, one land, and put it all in the church's name. Stay woke. Why would you put an SUV in the name of a church? I'll let that sit right there. Why would you put an SUV in the name of a church? When did you ever know that a church name was on an SUV? I've never heard of this. Maybe a van, a church van, church bus, but not a car. Tax write-off. Are we going to find out these people don't pay taxes? Tax evasion, tax fraud, other fraud. Welcome to the Vault XL.
Indiana police are desperately searching for a boy believed to be in extreme danger. It's been more than 2 weeks since 14-year-old Bryson Mure was last seen. The boy's grandmother says he's a victim of child abuse by his father, former Indianapolis Colts player Daniel Mure. Now police are trying to figure out if his disappearance is tied to a cult-like religious group. Let's bring in News Nation Law and Justice contributor and former FBI agent Jennifer Kuhbander to discuss how this impacts the investigation. Jennifer, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you too, Jennifer. It's disturbing enough that the grandmother is concerned about her grandson and isn't getting information. But Jennifer, the details of this disappearance is also alarming, right? The grandmother says that he was brainwashed and his parents believed that they needed him to conform to his way of living. And based on the evidence we have, what do you believe actually happened to Bryson Mure? And what do you think are the chances that he's still alive?
Well, certainly very concerning when you look at the ties to his father and this religious cult, really, if you will. I just got done doing a lot of research on this organization, and they completely control the individuals in their group, meaning everything is provided by them. And we know, according to the police, that possessions of the family of the father of Bryson were owned by this religious community, and that he in fact is a part of that. And it's very concerning because of how he disappeared. Recall, he was at his grandmother's house. He had this terrible bruised eye, and when the mother came and took him away, she was later pulled over, and yet he was already missing out of the vehicle. So where did she go? And there was another individual in that vehicle. Where did he come from? So I'm very concerned that this cult could have a nexus to the disappearance.
Jennifer, there was some incredible work done, investigative side of our News Nation Indianapolis affiliate, connected to the family Straightway Truth Ministries, which has some linked to a cult. What do you know about this group, Jennifer, and their ties to possibly being a cult or operating like one?
Well, I know this, that members have to work. They work in different businesses, but specifically construction type businesses. And everything they have is given over to the church and their elders and the main person, Mr. Dowd, who runs this ministry. Now, interestingly, they're only given $50 a month. $50 a month per person, and that can be sanctioned for them not doing the right thing. In addition, everything that they have, that they're allowed to have, is controlled by the group. So if they want a haircut, they go to their barber. If they want new shoes, it's paid for by the cult. So I should say religious group, but has the cult-like leanings. So they're completely controlled, Nick, in terms of their daily lives.
And Jennifer, I know that you work strictly in fact, and I want to ask you this quickly. What would you tell the family to hold out hope? What would you say to them?
Well, I'm worried about, if you're talking about the grandmother, I hope what's happening behind the scenes with law enforcement, that they are looking at all cell phone information. I hope they get warrants for the community, this church community, to help find Bryson. They're going to have to be very proactive in this situation because it's very concerning when you look at these players and the type of community they're running.
Jennifer Kuhbander, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to join.
So, allotted $50 a month to live off of. Nobody can live off of $50 a month. Come on. I don't care who you are. You work, don't work, homeless. Come on. Who's the orchestrator of these organizations? Because there's two different names, the Straightway and then the other organization. What's going on here? How many people live on that compound? One second. I'm trying to make connections to someone pertaining to this nonsense I'm discussing. So give me 1 second to check some messages right quick. 1 second, everybody. All right, everybody, I'm back. Trying to get some information. Thank you. Yeah, waiting on someone to give me some information pertaining to this Bryson. They know Bryson, so that's what I'm waiting on. I was trying to get it before I went live. I like to have everything lined up before I go live, so I don't have to come back on. Bryson Mure, where is he? Is he alive, deceased? Where is the boy child? Are the parents hiding him? If so, why? 2 different church names have been mentioned. Straightway Truth Ministries. Pastor Dow is the orchestrator, proprietor of this ministry. And then there's the Servant Leaders Foundation. Both tied to Tennessee. Are they both affiliated? I believe when I was talking last night, I may have inferred that Mr. Dow lived up north. I believe he lives in Tennessee. I did detect a bit of a southern twang. So who all lives on the property in Goshen, Indiana? Mr. Daniel Mure and his wives, as he said in the commentary in the video, his most intimate moment is when his wives pray. Please stop it. Just stop it. Are you serious? You expect the queen to believe that? Your most intimate moment is when you and all your wives are praying. Oh, okay. Well, how's that working out? You all tithing and giving all your monies and things to this religious group. Which one are we speaking of? I don't even know which one's which. Straightway or Servant Leaders? Or are they both one and the same? Are they one in the same? Or one's a branch of the other one? Don't know. But how's this working? Strong arm religion, taking what you want from the Bible, because I already knew that was going to happen. Because this happens all the time with the Christianity faith. People take what they want from the Bible and misconstrue it. So who are you all and what is your message to the world? Israelites, Hebrew, what? Don't know. Not really trying to find out, because I'm sure when you go digging, old saying, seek and ye shall find. Probably going to find out some stuff I don't need to know about. Some old dirty business. I'm trying to understand you all being a free will in mind and allowing somebody to tell you what to do with your money, your savings, your bank account, your investments. Hell no. You've been living in this world all this time, and now one day you're going to wake up, you're going to start living on a compound, living in a commune, putting stuff in the name of a church name. You know, come on, stop it. That's to get away from paying taxes. I'm not a dodo bird, okay? Everybody knows that. Tax exempt. Maybe that's what we should call the church. Tax exempt. Because that's what this sounds like. Just some people who found a way to hustle the government to get out of paying for things. That's what this sounds like. And hey, I don't knock the hustle. But the object of the hustle is if it's legit or not. That's where there's the problem, you see. So you know there's always going to be somebody that's going to pimp Jesus in order to get their hustle on. So is that what we have here with these Hebrew Israelites? Pimping Jesus at the same time pimping the government with the AK-47s on the wall. Where is this child? As I said last night about live, I'm not trying to hear all that stuff Mr. McDowell is talking about supporting the Muir'S. You sound like a fool to be sitting up here spinning all this BS about the government and news media sensationalism. That don't got nothing to do with a whole child missing and his face beat up. What does that have to do with that? They opened Pandora's box to one, take a beat up child to the grandmother, and then the grandmother called 911. What's the problem? They did that. The child said the father hit him And you sitting there talking about, oh, we support the Muir'S. We support the Muir'S. The hell are you talking about? You support somebody beating up a 14-year-old? Sound ridiculous. One second, everybody. Well, I don't think it'll matter if they're military or not. If they think you're doing something illegal, they're going to watch you regardless. Hold on, everybody. One second. One minute. Foolishness. Yes, it is. Seems to be a problem here. I should have known better. Hold on, everybody. Sorry for the long pause. I'm trying to get to the bottom of something right here on this case, messaging somebody. So I'm going to say this during this live stream. Don't waste my time with foolishness. If you don't have anything to say about something, you don't know anything about anything, don't comment. And do not reach out to me. See, this is what's ridiculous. This person writes a message on the video, and then I tell the person to contact me. And what's weird is if they release, I guess when they erase their comment, my comment is erased alongside theirs as a response. And so I thought the person had reached out to me. And now I'm asking the person, aren't you the person that was speaking on my channel on the video? And now they're telling me, no, they're not. Well, then why would you request to follow me on IG? Because I directed that to the person who was speaking underneath the video. So what are the odds that if somebody with a similar name is going to message me back, follow me back on Instagram? Because I found it interesting that the comment was erased. Why would you erase it? Why would you erase your comment? Okay. More foolishness. Hold on a minute, everybody. Yeah, I don't know if this is just some dirty game, because this is what people do on social media. They don't have anything better to do. Because that makes no sense for me to, you comment, I reply, tell you to reach me on IG. I'm assuming you're that person, because I was leery anyway. Because all it needs is some other person messaging. And she just says, well, I commented on the video. I don't know anything. That doesn't make any sense. She says, because I knew you were following the story and I wanted to watch your interviews. So this makes no sense. Sounds that way. Seems that way. Sorry for the delay. Trying to get. Well, where was I? Where is this child? Is he being hid because he was abused? But as I said, why would you take a child to the grandmother knowing she would be objective to the abuse of the child? This makes no sense to me. And then the mother shows up to get the child and disappears with the child and a man and David, who's the mystery guy. Where's the child? That means somebody had to be in another car. This doesn't make any sense to me. All this is BS. Yeah, something told me to do that, me. Take a picture of it. Because what I found interesting is that just right after the person makes the comment, I get this request. So I'm assuming it was her. And then when I go back to my video, the comment's gone. And my reply is gone. So I'm assuming that my reply got erased because this person erased their comment, which is suspicious. Why would you comment like you know the boy, the brother, the young man, and then you're a relative, and then you erase the comment and then message me? So what? So I'm supposed to believe what? Some random person saw the comment and requested to follow me on IG. That doesn't make any sense. What do you want to follow me over here IG for? For what? I'm just keeping it real. Follow me over here for what? Or just a troll. A troll? Somebody working for those people. Who the hell knows? Let me get back to what I was doing. Are these two groups connected? Straightway and Servant Leaders Foundation. Well, it could be one of the members. Let me play something from Taylor's mom that just came up. Everybody plays games. That's all people do on social media. That's all I've seen since I've been a YouTuber.
Taylor's mother, Colette Seymour, and family friend Emily Williams, thank you both for your time. I'm so sorry to be speaking to you under these circumstances. I'm so sorry that you are going through this. Colette, can you tell us what is the latest on the search?
Seems like nothing to me. No news, no information about, where Taylor is or where Taylor could have been. Nothing. That's how I'm feeling.
Do you feel like you are getting help? Have you reached out? What are they telling you?
That's what I'm saying. Since I've been back here in the States, nothing. I haven't heard from any of them. I'm not sure the FBI is involved. I heard somebody say it, but I don't think it's happening. I just don't think it's happening.
What is your understanding of what happened to Taylor up until she disappeared?
Taylor was in the Sivananda yoga retreat, studying to be taking classes to become a yoga instructor. That's why Taylor went. Taylor was supposed to be there for a month, and the class actually ended yesterday. And yeah, that's about it.
So what happened up until she disappeared? She'd been attending classes, correct? People had seen her, and then all of a sudden she just was gone.
Yes, because she arrived on June 3rd. So up until June 19th, with the day she became missing, that they said, yeah, They said she was in a 4 o'clock class on June 18th. That's when they last seen her in a 4 o'clock class.
Excuse me.
And then on June 19th, they said that the Hannah lady told me that the last time they seen Taylor was on at 11:30 p.m. that night on June 10th. But then we talked a little further, and I said, so the last time you seen Taylor was on June 19th at 11:30 p.m. And she goes, no, not really. She wasn't seen. You know, Taylor wasn't seen. Actually, the student in the tent next to Taylor just heard Taylor unzipping the tent and just, moving some things around in the tent.
So just heard somebody unzipping the tent and moving things around. Colette, talk to me. What has life been like for you, for your family friends, since Taylor went missing? How difficult was it for you to get back on that plane and come back to Chicago from the Bahamas?
It was very hard for me to get back on that plane and come back without my child. It was very hard. And no answers, I just wasn't satisfied when I left there with the answers we got and everything. I think the investigating team, the Royal Bahamas Police, they're doing bare minimum.
Yeah. Colette, what is your message to your daughter? If Taylor is listening, if she can somehow hear this, what would you say to her?
Taylor, please get in contact with us. I hope you're well. I hope nothing is wrong with you. I hope you just well. And I believe in my heart that you're alive. As your mother, I believe in my heart you're alive.
Oh, Lord.
Get in contact with us, please. We love you and we miss you and we need you home with us.
Colette Seymour, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the absolute best in the search. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider.
Oh, Lord have mercy. That's Miss Colette, everybody. Prayers for her. This is a terrible situation to be in. Oh, man. How in the world did it come to this? Child goes away to the islands and is not seen. Where is this young lady? Pissing me off. Hold on a minute, everybody. Oh, Lord. We got more nonsense going on. Besides this case here pertaining to Taylor. This is damn foolishness. I'm almost 2 hours into this commentary. There's a new update from people saying some may not have been with her willingly. Well, once he got in the car, I guess not if the girl pulled a gun out on him. Reagan Anderson. This is about to start getting ignorant too. This case. They're both of them are dead. Now the mother's making these commentary about him not going willingly. Well, getting in the car is one thing versus being in the car and held at gunpoint. That's totally different. But I can see the average guy probably trying to fight her. He's bigger, he's stronger. Some will say, well, why didn't he try to fight her? Because, you know, you can't hold a gun and drive at the same time. It doesn't work. Shit, if I got to jump out this car, why are you driving? You're not driving holding a gun. You know, let's make sense out of this nonsense. She can't drive and hold a gun. It's impossible. Who is this? Hold on a minute, everybody. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm confused at what's going on. I thought you were the person that... Slow down.
No, what I was saying is that I used to live it years ago.
Yeah.
But I was just seeing her in crossing, so I don't know.
Well, see, I didn't know. Hold on. Just slow down for a second. When you said she, I'm assuming you're the girl who said she's the cousin of Bryson. That's where I'm confused.
No. What I was saying was that I'm not the cousin. Like, I don't know her. I've seen her. You know what I'm saying?
No, but see, the person, maybe you're misunderstanding. I was talking directly to the person that wrote the comments. Amila. Yeah. So you're saying you were just reading the comments and decided to follow me?
Yes. Because like I said, I'm where this happened. Like, I moved there 20-some years ago. And it just caught my eye because I've seen her. So that's why I followed, because I'm sure you're going to be following this story and doing, you know, interviews or videos or whatever. So that's why I decided to follow you.
Okay.
So I can follow you doing the story. I don't know who that person is or whatever, but I was following you because you were doing, you know.
Okay, yeah, it just threw me off. I thought you were the young lady who made the comment. That's where I was confused.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. I was trying to confuse you.
Yeah, because when I got the request in, what is strange is that as soon as I saw your request, I went back to my video and the person has removed their comment. So I found that very odd that you would send me a request and then her comment would just disappear.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, I don't know who that was.
So you don't know at Mila Parks? Okay. Do you know anything about the church?
I don't, like when I tell you I don't know anything, I know of her from seeing her, from crossing paths with her. Like I haven't been back home in years, so I don't know anything.
So what town were you passing cross with Kristen?
Somewhere surrounding Cleveland, because I used to live in Cleveland. So
okay. Well, may I ask? Well, may I ask you how old you are?
40.
Okay, so how old would she be?
She's got to be. She ain't that far from me.
Okay.
She's got to be in her 30s, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. So you don't know anything about her?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've seen her and just crossing paths. Her face just kind of resonated.
Well, I haven't seen her face, so that's why I'm trying to understand. How do you know what she looks like?
Because there was in the video that you had commented on, there was he showed the picture. You didn't see where he showed pictures in the video?
Oh,
did you watch the whole video?
Which video was that?
one that's on YouTube.
I don't know. They got who are you talking about, Mr. McDowell or Mr. Daniel?
Oh, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know his name. JLR Investment?
Oh,
JLR.
no. I haven't shown any of his videos on my channel. Because I don't fool with him.
Yeah, because I saw there was I thought you commented on this one. Yeah. This is where you commented at.
I commented where?
Didn't you comment on this one?
I mean, I don't know what video you're talking about.
The one that he am I tripping?
And there you have it. Where was I? Where is this boy child? This church nonsense. Let's see if Mr. McDowell has posted anything recently. Everybody's got games. You're going to ask me about the video and the picture of the wife and say I've commented on it. I don't watch JLR's material. Maybe this is one of JLR's friends. Y'all picked the wrong sister to fuck with. Ain't what you want. Let me go on my search engine. Sorry it's so much dead space because people, playing games because they don't have nothing better to do. So the last video that Pastor Dow posted was KJV versus NIV, Straightway Truth. I'm not getting ready to play that and listen to all that. Yeah, tricks are for kids, exactly. You're sitting here asking me about a video that you're saying I commented on, and I'm sitting here saying, I don't know what video you're talking about, because there's Mr. McDowell's got videos and Mr. Daniel's got videos, so I didn't know what she was talking about, because I haven't seen a picture of the wife, so that's why I don't understand what she was saying. So I just find it funny that you would follow me on Instagram when I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the person who commented. That's the whole point. See, you're commenting to people you don't know who they are and what they know. For all we know, that person could have made up that stuff. That's why I told the person, hey, reach out to me on IG. Just so happened this person reaches out. I'm assuming they're that person. Because naturally, people will use different names. But what I find interesting is that this person who I was just talking to, you've changed your name on IG 10 times. 10 damn times. So who changes their name 10 times? Yeah, okay. Now he's talking about a block party. Let's see what Pastor is talking about.
Already communicated to us we're going to be having a block party in East Tennessee. We just acquired some time ago 85 acres of land. And the brothers got a lot of dirt work done and stuff, and we're getting ready to start building the first large structure, which is a 40 by 80 on that land. So myself, a few brothers from Straightway will be there. Clarksville will be there. We got a couple other brothers that are coming in that will be there. And of course, if you need some experience in every stage, at every stage and every facet of this particular building right here to learn, you need to be here. You need to be here, especially if you got aspirations of building up your communities or building up your homesteads. But however, we need to cap this because we don't need more hands out there than we have work. It's a 40 by 80 building. There's going to be a lot of moving around. The blocks get really, really heavy after a couple hours. I'm bringing 2 or 3 block mixes from, I'm not bringing everybody from Straightway this time. I'm bringing 2 or 3 block mixes though. We'll be down there, and we're actually going to be spending the night. We're going to spend the day and the night down there in tents. So we're going to be sleeping in tents. We're going to be there to get it done. We're going to cap this somewhat. Now, we're not going to cap Clarksville because it's their building that we're building down there. We're going to cap the amount of people that are coming outside of Clarksville to maybe about 20. So if you can make it, you need to contact Brother Ron, let him know. So that Brother Rashawn and all of them can actually logistically get the food and everything together. I don't think at this time, I got to talk with Brother Ron about it, but I really don't think at this time there are going to be any sisters out there on the land. Now, that's subject to change. It depends on how my body feels and stuff. I may bring one of my issues down there to set up things for her and then, because this old body's getting old and tired, if you know what I mean. And I need massages to keep me going. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Boy, bye.
First day and second day. First day and second day. We're going to get down there first day, do the corners, get everything started good. There's 2 foot of it is in the ground, so we're going to get that up going good. I got to show Brother Ron something on that too. Square the building up. Do everything we can so that when we do wake up early in the morning and we're getting ready to get started on the second day and stuff, we can go ahead and finish it and be headed out towards home no later than maybe 11 or 10 or 11 or no later than noon. 10 or 11 o'clock, but no later than noon. All right. With that said, y'all have a blessed day. Looking forward to it.
All right, that's Pastor Dow. Basically saying we are going to build another debt-free home for real Israel, whoever that is. Okay. So what's interesting is what you heard in the commentary earlier. News Nation, I believe it's News Nation. That, or Court TV, one of them. They like to work in construction. So that's similar to what he's talking about here. Getting somebody to come in and help. So basically, you're not paying anybody. So you want somebody for free to come help you build a building that they have no investments in and sleep in a tent. Well, where are they going to shower and use the restroom, Pastor Dow? I'll wait. Where are these men going to use the restroom and bathe after a hard day of work to build somebody a house structure? Then I'm sure it's going to be in the church's name. Oh, the theatrics. They're nonstop. Sir, do you know where this child is? You sitting here going live, making these videos. Where is the child? Do you know anything? Listen at this nonsense. Yes, Pastor D, I definitely know what you mean about those massages on these old muscles, old bodies. Sadly, I still have to suffer as I don't have a husband to help me out. Laugh out loud, shaking my head. Oh, somebody said, will Bryson be there? Oh, that's a good one. Yes, DK worked them. Ain't that the truth? Where's Bryson? Exactly. Y'all gonna be sleeping in tents, no hotels, no bathrooms, no nothing. You're talking about setting up food. Setting up the food on what? Fold-out table? What you gonna keep the ice in? Coolers? This is nonsense. Too cheap to stay in a hotel. Book rooms where you can be comfortable. Get good night's rest and sleep. Who the hell wants to sleep on the ground after working construction and putting a building together? Working to put a structure together. Yeah, because that's the whole point. It's all about the money to do what you want to do and free labor. So that's why I said, who's getting ready to come build this structure, travel down to go build a structure that they have no investments in to sleep in a damn tent? But this goes back to what they were saying on these news programs. This is all a gimmick. Use and abuse. Use up people who don't have a decent mindset, looking for something, lost in the world. They stumble across you all, crying and moaning from the good book, and then they get themselves tangled up with you all, and they end up selling their soul to the devil. Because that's what it sounds like. I was stunned when he said sleep in a tent. I thought, who the hell wants to sleep in a tent? Hot as hell down here in Tennessee. Let me see. What did I write his name down? Real Straightway. Just everybody's got a con. Just use people. Straightway Truth Ministries. So Pastor Dow has his own channel. Somebody else got a video up. White guy talking about exposing Straightway Elder Kabir and Pastor Dow. Then he's got another video up called Pastor Dow, Straightway Our Sisters.
It's live now. It's tripping.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley. If you're new to the channel, I want to show you what we're doing today. It's loud in the background, but check it out. Come see. These are eggshells. Check it out. Right there. ATF. Hey, did these eggs come from our homegrown chickens? Yes. What are you doing? We are crushing eggshells for our garden bed. All right, so we crushed the eggshells down to a fine powder to add them to our gardens, okay? So you'll see the process. Check out the team over here. Rolling pins, trash bags, eggshells inside. Freeze! Smile at the camera. Say shalom. Hello. Hallelujah. Back to work. All right. What else, y'all? We got a chef, a sister cooking for everyone coming today. We got
Look like a white lady.
on our hips and on our
Somebody's
backs.
got a white wife.
So hey, big guy.
Most of the women are black that's cooking, but this white woman's doing the talking.
Ready to go to our greenhouse to fertilize and beds. We hope to bring you more videos like this all summer long. Hello.
I'm going to share it to my community page in case you're curious. Interesting. Then this guy, he's got a video up. What's going on with Pastor Dow Straightway? This was 2 months ago, so this would have been before the child went missing. Interesting. Everybody's got something to say. Somebody says, so many people been exposed in 2024.
Praise and worship. It's so much going on in the world, and y'all know I don't make hate videos. I don't do hatred videos. Just like when I was doing the videos about Pastor Dow, Charles Dow, getting into it so much in so many words with Pastor Gino Genius. And I always say, man, it's the people that's on the outside looking in to this, especially people that's not of faith. They just saying this is why I don't want to be involved in church. And man, look at the so-called pastors, the leaders. All you see is people bashing each other, going back and forth, or somebody trying to prove who know more of the Bible. Now, I told y'all years ago, actually with Pastor Charles Dow, I did a song for Pastor Dow years ago called Straightway Truth. I recorded it in my little studio and sent it to him. Spoke to Pastor Dow on the phone. And I always look at the type of work he does with the helping and building of the communities and everything. And it's for the Israelite stuff that's going on with Brother Jamie gone and Pastor Ruffus, forgive if I say his name wrong. And you see the videos they posting now, and the one that y'all sent me about Ringo TV, that video, it's heartbreaking. And you see these videos now saying Straightway need to be shut down. See what I'm doing when I do videos about all these pastors and bishops out there, or whatever you want to call yourself. You notice one thing I say, because I don't do hatred videos, I say I pray for you. Just like I said about Geno Jennings, I pray for Pastor Geno Jennings, because that stuff that was going on with him and Pastor Dow could have really got real ugly if they would have actually met in person. I believe it would have, men with the ego, we can say what we want until we are put into a position, because there was a lot of disrespect going on. And then a lot of people saying, well, Pastor Dow, he's not the same as he was, man. He's losing people. He's drinking. He's in the cult. I mean, he's got that narcissist spirit. He's this, he's that. And it just seems like it don't matter what pastor you're looking at online. It's stuff going on.
Oh,
and I know everybody's not called by the Holy Spirit. Let me make that point. But I pray for Straightway. I pray for Charles now. Because see, the reason why I talk the way I talk, because there's always people in the middle that's hurt. Like the Israelite community, they are, man, people are in tears. People, it's like, what's going on? And then you see the other video Pastor Dow did. He was saying how the people that's mad at him and hating on him and exposing him, they don't really have proof. But anybody that look at Pastor Dow, that's the issue. Let me say this, because I keep telling Christians all the time, you're gonna hate his message off top because he don't teach Christianity. He's against Christianity. I don't know how many times I've told so many people this that they get mad when they start watching. Man, he just hard on Christian. He don't teach that. He teach from an Israelite standpoint, Israel. And he got a whole lot of Christians, man. But see now, when stuff happened, I don't know if y'all saw the videos about how man he took this dude's wife. He got more than one wife and this. He always talked about polygamy and polygyny. If you ever just watched his page years ago. But it's like now, so many things are happening. And I don't know what's all true. Because one thing I've learned about being on social media and even just real life, a lot of things, I'm going to say it like the old folks used to say, it's your side and their side.
and the truth.
And then the truth is lying somewhere in the middle. Because if it's not you and you're not in the situation, it's kind of hard sometimes to pinpoint what's all going on. But then you see more people posting videos. These people posting videos, so then you be like, what do you believe? And then when you hear Pastor Dow speak, you say, man, it's not even the truth what a lot of them saying. So who got the truth? Who got the real truth? And you'll never hear me say none of these pastors out here are perfect. Man, everybody in leadership got flaws in some kind of era, man. But it's not enough people saying pray for a brother when they fall. And that's the part that gets to me. Just like when I made the video, what you hear me say about TDJ, pray for him. See, I'm patient too, because my thing is, I don't care who you are and what you are, when the Holy Spirit shows me with my discernment, my thing is I want to see you repent if you're in the wrong. Repent. I pray for you to come to repentance. I don't care if you're a Pastor Geno Jennings, Pastor Charles Dow. We don't have people will write you off quick without even hearing all of the truth. It may be some of the truth, but my prayers is for them. And all the people that stray away, man, my prayers are for them. Just like I pray for the people that's lost inside a lot of these church buildings. See, Brother Steve E, let me give a shout out to my brother Steve E. Brother Steve E said something yesterday, had me so teary-eyed, man. Because he said, when you are hard up in this ministry, boy, it get the best of you. prophets, man, them prophets was going through a lot, man.
This person talking is at Mr. Giroux24. Feel free to go to his network. This was 2 months ago. Let's read some of the comments because I don't follow any of these people. I didn't know anything about these people until this situation came about with this boy child missing, Bryson. Muir'S still missing. No new information, but these churches' names have come up pertaining to the child that his father's involved with. Straightway Ministries, Truth Ministries, and this Servant Leaders Foundation. So we heard Mr. Dow say he's coming to East Tennessee to build some type of structure down here, wanting help, blah, blah, blah. And then this guy named his video come up in the queue. So let's hear what the people in the chat have to say so we can get a general idea of what's going on with this Mr. Dow. And obviously he's in cahoots with Mr. Daniel Mure. Dow claims to have wives, more than one wife. And Mr. Mure claims to have more than one wife too. So that seems to be truth and consensus. They have more than one wife, and they're pushing the polygamy type lifestyle. So here's what someone has to say. So I'll be reading the comments so you all get a general idea of the life that this little boy had with these people. How many wives are there that Daniel has? How many brothers and sisters does Bryson have? What happened to his face? Did this man beat him up, hit him? How many times did he hit him? How many times has he been abusing him? What was the reason for abusing him and making him look this way? Is he repenting? How about that? Is the child alive? We will take the polls on my community page. But for now, let's go into the belly of the beast. Read these comments. People need to stop worshiping these pastors. Lady says, I saw the demons on Dial a while ago. We have to use our good discernment with these so-called pastors, cursing and drinking on video, attacking other pastors, now involved in adulterous scandal after pushing poly to followers. I won't be casting pearls to swine. I pray that God's will is done. I am on God's side. 3 replies. Lemuel says, is this the same dog that stole Puerto Rican Nellie from her Puerto Rican husband? What his black wife Cookie was not enough, then he added the girl young enough to be his daughter? But Messiah in his holy doctrine say to go back to the beginning and have one wife? Very interesting. Laid back replies to Lemuel. Okay, so here's the thing. We do see multiple wives in scripture, but usually there are servants or the man is a servant anyway. Dowd is committing adultery by laying with a woman unlawfully divorced. The young wife he's with looks like she should have a nurse. Rebecca was so young she had to have a nurse. Genesis 24:59, and they sent away Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse. Timothy 2:3-6, for this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. Jazzy replies to Lemuel. I believe dude named Eric. I'm shocked. Unsub Pastor D last night. This was 2 months ago. So now we're hearing about women, younger women, for Pastor Dow. Pastor Dow, that woman I saw in the back seat of your car SUV, she looked young. I said that last night during the live. I said, oh, this lady looks awfully young. They're sitting in the back seat of the car. So I said, woo, said to myself, looks like it'll be his daughter. So maybe this is the young lady they're speaking of in the comments section. 388 comments. Somebody says, only follow the Holy Spirit within me, put no trust in nothing, and no man on this earth. It is written personal relationship. Well, that's the whole point. If they're not teaching the Bible, it doesn't even really matter, now does it? They're doing what they want. So it's not even them robbing from the scripture. I don't guess. I don't know. They're doing what they want to do. But man has been doing this for ages. Taking what he wants from the Bible and making his own religion, his own way, getting a following. People do this all the time. And it's not just with religion. It's just like being up here on YouTube, Facebook. People get a following, a group of subscribers, and people are following them around like dodo birds without a brain. Anything they say and do, they're right there on board. Until one day it's so outlandish. Now it's, I've unsubscribed. But you were following before. So people feel like, well, you like them, why turn on them? As this black man was saying here, everybody's flawed, pastor or not. Pray for him. I guess they do need prayer. Somebody says Pastor Dow drinks a lot. On one of his videos, he had his drink in his hand and his speech was slurring and he was cussing at every other word. There was a few of his members sitting around him. If they are afraid to confront him about his drinking and the effect it has to hold the spiritual atmosphere around him, they are enabling him. Wow. He appears to be an alcoholic. Alcoholics hardly ever make rational decisions. Having a leader who is given to alcohol definitely is not good. A lot of people have destroyed their lives and others because of alcoholism. The older he gets and the longer the drinking goes on, he will become more and more hostile, will only cause disaster. Nothing good comes out of alcoholism. It's his followers that need to take a stand and confront him about his behaviors. Also, scripture states that the bishop is husband of one wife. The people better wake up and examine their own lives and ask themselves, are they living within God's will? Well, that's true. If you're going to follow the Bible, God made Eve from Adam's rib. So he didn't bring out Eve, Susie, Shamiqua, and Mary. Ting, ting, ting. There are only 2 people in the garden. Last I checked. Only 2 people ate from the tree. So there wasn't another woman in heaven lying around waiting on Adam. So all this polygamy talk, different races, it's just the people doing what they want to do, because that is what man has been doing since he was created. Woman as well. I do as I want, as I see fit. You either like it or you don't. And that is what Pastor Dow is doing. That's what Mr. Muir is doing. That's what they're all doing as they see fit, making their own religion. That's all that is going on here. And there's no way I'm getting ready to forfeit my life for somebody else's. And if you believe in the scripture, God tells you that. You shall have no other God before me. So therefore, if you're worshiping this man and giving all your money and your coins to him, then you ain't believing in the Bible. But as this guy's saying, he don't preach the Bible. So I don't know if that's true or not. So it's on you. You want to follow these people around. You want to give up your life, your livelihood, your money, your bank account, that's on you. You probably will not be happy though. And you can't wake up living in a worldly world and then change all that and then start walking around pretending you don't like football, you don't want to go out with your friends and eat ribs or chicken wings or whatever. You're going to change all that to fall in behind some cooped up religion. Because that's all this sounds like. Just some cooped up shit somebody came up with, and they reaching out and breaking off into sets as they call them, and it's up to you if you want to follow. That's how I look at it. All the people I feel sorry for are children. They don't get the luxury of enjoying their life because they've got these radical ass people who are lost and they're looking for something. That's how they get you wrapped up in these sects and these cults and these church-like entities. It's because one of the people running the shit, they're lost. And then they go out and look for more lost people. And before you know it, you got a following. That's all it takes. If it's 5 people following a fool, that person's happy to have 5 fools. It's just the way it is. 5 damn fools. Jay Solo says, no way I'm going to work to give my check to another man. Impossible. Brandon replies, I don't know why folks give their money away to ministries just to tell them some stories out of a book. Wow. Jehovah replies, I don't approve giving away all my check, but do you live by that storybook you mentioned? Let me tell you, all your life is based off that book. How you live, think about that. Wow. Okay. Well, Jehovah, God didn't tell anybody to give all their money up to a pastor, to a man, to a bishop. Okay? He didn't tell you to do that. That's a choice. You still got to have something to live off of. Come on. Now, here goes Dorothy. He that is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Somebody replies to Dorothy. There's a difference in sinning and knowingly sinning. Promoting that same sin is calling unrighteousness righteous. Ooh, a lot of talk out here. Somebody told the guy who's making this video, God bless you for your positiveness. You are a true man of Most High. Someone else replied, we have to start to realize if you want to be in position of leadership in Yah, you are required, demanded by God, to walk in holiness. Unapologetic says, that brother got a stronghold of pride and now it's getting exposed. But that's Hebrew Wenity's fault. Nobody should be recognized with an award for being a Hebrew Israelite. That's utter nonsense. He was on his YouTube drinking and disrespecting the word. When he did it, so we can only go by his actions that he's showing us. Definitely a spirit of narcissism too. So that's why we have to come away from that type of mess. So basically what you're hearing under this Jaru 24's channel is that Pastor Dow is a drunk. He's saying, pray for him. Don't, ostracize him, I guess. Pray for him. He needs help. So, Mr. Dow, whatever it is that you're supposed to be preaching to these people, what? I'm confused. What is it that you're preaching? I'm also seeing another video in here, Pastor Dow versus Ringo TV, New Breed. Exposing the lies with truths and facts. So obviously he's got beef with some other young black man by the name of Ringo TV, whatever that nonsense is about. This looks like a real sad situation. Now he uploaded a video yesterday where he's lifting weights. As I told you, he also has a video supporting the Muir'S. That was 2 days ago. I played that content last night. Let me find this truth way nonsense as well. Now this guy is a black guy, Elder Kabir. I just heard his name mentioned in one of the articles, one of the comments. This is 6 years ago. He basically says he's leaving the straightway cult. That was 6 years ago. Interesting. Here to give you biblical solutions to real life problems. Elder Kabir Kabaha Biamila. Yeah, I mentioned his name last night in some commentary. Oh, wow, this is deep. Boy, this will take a lot to go through here. I'm trying to find this straightway truth ministries with Mr. Pastor Dow keeps coming up every time I type that in. These poor children are being raised in a cult, confusion. Oh, man, it's a lot to look at. Elder Kabir speaks. Let's hear why he said he followed this straightway truth. I'm trying to find
one of the things
the video from the other guy. I can't find it.
This would be attractive to football players and anybody that comes from a more masculine profession or masculine mindset. It's like your church is catering to men as leaders, catering to these natural instincts that men have. And I would imagine that's why, again, I've got 4 former NFL players here in studio with me today, but I would think, KGB, the masculine energy and the patriarchal energy is part of the attraction that you feel to the church?
I mean, it's most definitely an aspect of Straightway Truth Ministry of the masculine, because it's a patriarch ministry. But what attracted to me is the love of Christ and the love of the brethren.
So he says Christ.
That's what really attracted me to Straightway Truth Ministry, is that we show our love by keeping the commandments. The whole duty of man is to keep the commandments of Yah, to fear Yah, to keep his commandments. And really came down to the Shabbat for me. When I was studying about the Sabbath back in the days, and then when I saw, like, wow, they not only just say it, they're doing it, and it's their way of showing love to the Messiah.
So just because I try to make the show accessible to everybody. Yeah. Some people may be way off into the word. Some people just a little. Shabbat. Explain what you mean by that, and why that was important to you.
Sabbath. I mean, some people know as the Sabbath. Remember, the Sabbath is one of the commandments, the 10 Commandments. And we rest. We're commanded to keep that day holy. That's a time that we rest. That's a time that we're not buying or selling. It's a time for us to assemble, to hear the words of Moses. And in this case, we go to what they call church or our assembly and things of that nature. And so when I saw that, I said, why are we not doing that on the Sabbath day? It's not just Sabbath, because, back in our days when we played ball, Tuesday was our day off. So we just thought Sabbath was whatever day that was convenient for us. But no, there's a literal 7-day Sabbath, and it revolves around Jesus and not around what's convenient to us. Because when it was Tuesday, it was only because of the NFL schedule. But then how am I going to get connected to the rest of the assembly that Yah has? And he has a particular day, and it's the 7th day. And so once I saw that, I saw a video of Pastor Dow. He just popped up on my YouTube. I was maybe I was talking about, but it popped up. And when I saw that, it compelled me, because I never heard a man preach that way. The way he was speaking was very masculine. I'm accustomed to more of a softer tone pastor, but he gave me the reason biblically why we need to keep the Sabbath day holy. But he never showed in the video I saw. He didn't really tell us how to do it. So it compelled me to reach out to the ministry, and I did reach out. Was able to eventually talk to him. And he invited me to come and check it out. And I went to go check it out. I was planning to go check it out, and as my plans to go check it out, my 16 years of marriage went down the tube right before my very own eyes.
Before or after you got involved with Straightway?
I was just wanting to go check it out. I didn't know anything about Straightway. I just knew what I saw on the internet, and I wanted to go check it out on the 21st of July. I had
what year is this?
2017. So 2017, I had a dream the night before on a Friday night. Saw Pastor Dow. It compelled me enough. Reached out. He said I can come out. So we were scheduled to come out there on July 21st. Me and my family. Me and my wife and my 7 children at the time. And we were going to go out and visit Straightway. He said that, hey, he told us where we can stay at a hotel, and you guys are more than welcome to come in. I didn't know why he needed to know how many numbers. Now I know why, because they have food and things of that nature. So I was going to come out there. My wife left me. It took my children and left me.
In 2017.
2017 on the 19th. And I had to call Pastor and say, hey, Pastor, I had a family emergency. I'm not going to be able to make it. My wife left and took all my children. I don't know where she's hiding or where she's at.
So their problem, and the reason why this is relevant, if you read the Sports Illustrated article, a lot of it is built around KGB's relationship with his wife, and they blame the religious cult. They blame Straightway and Pastor Dow basically for the fallout of your marriage. But you're saying it happened even before that.
Oh, it was before that. I mean, it really started with the whole image of God. I was one time reading, it was in 1 Corinthians 11. It says the image of God was created, that man was created image of God. And I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but for whatever, I believe God just allowed me to see it differently, just really see it. And I remember telling my wife, I said, did you know as a woman, you weren't created as the image of God? And it got to her. And then, so we were going back, it started in May. So we were going back and forth, kind of trying to figure out this whole image of God. She felt like, no, we're equal. I said, no, it says the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. We were going back and forth, and I was trying to find videos of pastor that said that. I think Pastor Dow came up there, but I said, I can't use that one to sell that to her. I had to find a pastor.
So let me ask you this.
Okay, hold
Wake
on.
up, clock in, and put in a hard day's work. But what happens when an ordinary work day takes a turn for the worse? On the job.
One of the things
2017.
KGB's relationship with his.
The head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. We were going back and forth, and I was trying to find videos of pastor that said that. I think Pastor Dow came up there, but I said, I can't use that one to sell that to her. I had to find a pastor.
So let me ask you this, KGB. You grew up in LA a Muslim.
Mm-hmm. I grew up a Muslim with a Muslim father, yes.
And so that is not part of the Muslim teaching that man, God, man, woman, that patriarchal view of the world wasn't taught the way you were growing up? Because I'm wondering, you and your wife, y'all never had this discussion before marriage in terms of how your roles would play out in a marriage.
Oh, we went through marriage counseling. We actually did the whole pre-marriage counseling. I did grow up with a Muslim background. Islam is a very patriarch type of religion. My mom was a Christian, and I think just because of our Nigerian background too, it was just our culture was very patriarchal in general. But we did talk about that. We said that we're going to revolve our marriage around that Bible, and that's what we did.
And so your wife pivoted on you then?
She just didn't like the whole image of God thing. So once we got past the image of God, I said, okay, I said I will reserve my opinion on the image of God. But then that's when we got to the head covering, and the head covering is what really started to spike things up, because I have a daughter at this time at 2 years old, and I said from now on. And I told my boys, I have 6 boys, 1 girl, a total of 7 now, but 6 boys at the time. And I said, guys, from now on, when we pray, I want to make sure that my daughter, Sophia, has her head covered. So that's what we started to do. She didn't want to really do that yet until she came to that conclusion. She wanted to start praying with the family. And I told her, I don't want you praying unless you have your head covered, because the Bible says that a woman should have her head covered. And so it was in all of this head covering, and she was right there about to get to the point of saying, okay, let me cover my head. And then that's when I found straightway. So we already had tension going on with the whole scripture. But when I found straightway, that was just the tip. That was the thing that brought the camel's back, And then when I wanted to go out there, she just took somebody suggested in the Christian community, one of her girlfriends in the Christian told her to just leave him, hide. And maybe you can bring him back that way. And so she was hoping that I would have acquiesced and capitulated to her demands by not listening to straightway.
Wow. Well, that's a lot to digest when you're living a certain way, and then you start picking up things that you want to change in your life, and then just think a person's just going to jump on board. If you're curious to this person, his name is Elder Kabir Kabaha Biamila. He basically telling you how he got involved with Straightway. That was a year ago, but he has now since left this religion. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Because you also see him in the background of one of these other videos by Pastor Dow, Best Wedding Ever. You can see Elder Kabir in the background. But he's left the church now. This is what I was looking for. Straightway Help Meets. And I'm assuming this is Mr. Mure. That's who I was wanting to focus on. He's got his own channel here on Facebook. Facebook and YouTube. Facebook.com, Straightway Truth with Pastor Charles Dow. Straightway, Blog Talk Radio, Straightway Forum, and this is the network where I saw Mr. Mure, the father of the missing boy child. The beginning of Straightway, they did a video 3 days ago. Got all type of videos. What Satan has done to women today. Interesting. Your preferences are not the truth. Pastor Dow 2 years ago. Got a lot. I was trying to see the video with Mr. Daniel. I only seen that one. I played you that brief one last night. They have a lot. Witchcraft, works of the flesh, 3 weeks ago. Camp Junior, crossing words of appreciation. Feel free to go to Mr. Dow's own personal channel to see his teachings and conversations if you want to, if you're curious to how this organization is working. And also Straightway Help Meets. It's another YouTube channel. So it's got 2 channels up here on YouTube talking. I was trying to see if there's something about Mr. Daniel. We learned more about him. So I guess he was just in one of the videos that I had pulled up. But obviously these are all the works of Mr. Dow, who is, I'm assuming, the orchestrator of these channels and different things. So here's one video called Divorced Woman, Remarriage and Adultery. That's probably where the people are making all those comments on that other guy's channel, that he's messing around with a woman that wasn't divorced or something. I don't know. Just a lot of nonsense. This is where I have the problem. As I said in my live stream last night pertaining to these people. Hold on, everybody. It's gotten a little warm in here. Sorry if I seem a little bit off kilt during this live stream. I was trying to speak to someone who I thought had information, and it just threw me off in the live. That probably was the point of it anyway. Devil using people to come in with nonsense. The problem I have is we have a boy child missing, okay? Trying to get a little more information about this organization, how it works. Does it play a role to this child? Do these people have knowledge of where the boy child is? That's the problem. Do they have knowledge? Mr. Dow made it clear in the commentary I played last night that he's talked to the family. He's supporting them, the Muir'S. Naturally, he's saying we don't live in the same state, blah, blah, blah. So what we have to ask is, where is he? Is he in Tennessee or he's up north? Where are the Muir'S? They up north, Tennessee, what? Mr. Dow is coming down here to build a structure. What is his knowledge pertaining to the boy child? You heard commentary here from the news. It's basically a strong arm type religion, manhole over the people, their ideologies, their will to move around, to be free thinkers, free movers. That's where I have the problem. I don't see being on this earth and not being able to move as you see fit, go where you want, do what you want to do. I don't care who you're believing in, Allah, Jehovah, Yah, whoever. You're entitled to worship a God, the way you see fit, because let's be truthful, everybody said there's only one God. But when you look at different religions, it's obvious that everybody is not worshiping the same gods. People will say that they are, that we are. I don't believe that. I don't believe we're worshiping the same God. Because if you got different ideologies about God and what he's teaching you and you're supposed to be doing, then how can it be the same God? The assumption is that it's the same God. But when you start looking at the teachings and what people are being taught and what they're actually believing, and then if they're perfecting what that book or whatever book they're following, because everybody's got a different book in a way, I don't know that it's the same God. That's all I'm saying. My thing is pertaining to this child, what the child was taught, how the child was perceived by the eyes of his parents, these church people? How did he like living where he's living? What was it like? That's what my main concern is. Because in the end, a child doesn't choose their parents, number one. A child doesn't choose how the parents want to worship. And as you see, listening to all these little conversations and people's comments pertaining to this religion, it's just bad. So just like this guy speaking here that his marriage, his wife started, I guess, seeing signs of him wanting to change and doing things, so she left with her children. Well, just imagine how crazy that is. You start implementing certain things in the life of you and your family. She doesn't agree. She takes the children somewhere else. And then you stay in this group for a couple of years, 17, whatever. Well, it's just 24. So you haven't even been in the group a whole 7 years. You've left the group. You've left the group. So one would say you started following these people. Your wife ran off because she saw the signs and on the wall. She didn't sit around and wait to pack up and go live on a compound commune. She said, I'm getting the hell out of here. Now you're not even with the group anymore. That's the point. That's the point right there. Okay? All this following these people and listening to what Mr. Dow says and any other these entities have to say, and you were getting ready to take your family and move them with these people or somewhere nearby, however it works, and then in the end, you didn't even stay. So you would have been ruining the life of your wife and family when in the end, you turned on these people yourself, or they turned on you, however you want to word it. So your marriage was probably going to suffer. Because had she went along with the program, she probably would not have been happy. Children probably wouldn't have been happy. And it would have been just a bunch of unhappy people. And then these people would have been in your ear trying to make your wife understand the way of the world. It was not going to work. Because the point is, how you start is how you finish. It's not to say we as people cannot change our ideology. We cannot one day grow up Christian and want to be a Buddha. One day you're a Buddha, you become a Christian. Or you're a Christian, you become Jehovah's Witness or Latter-day Saints, whatever, you're entitled to change. But the point is, when you're involving other people, that's going to be a problem. Because now you're trying to conform these other people's ways that were believing a certain way. Now they've got to try to change because you're the head knocker or you're the mother or the father and you're saying, well, I kind of identify with what they're saying. Now I want you all to come along. Then you start talking about uprooting your life, changing the way you dress, the way you talk, selling off goods. That's just drastic. Okay? Call a spade a spade. You don't walk around one day living a decent life, getting used to running water, a TV set, a few little pieces of jewelry, to now I can't wear the jewelry, I can't dress like this, I can't wear makeup, I can't talk like this, I've got to bow my head, do all this other type of crazy stuff and change who I am because you think I should, because somebody was in your ear telling you this is the way, the truth, and the light. But you see this all the time. And I do feel sorry for children. Because imagine being a happy-go-lucky kid, playing with tricycles, bicycles, having a good time, having friends, whatever. And then here come your parents now telling you, no, that's wrong. You got to take all these Connect 4 Monopoly games, throw them in the trash, blah, blah, blah. We don't want anything from the regular modern world. But you're used to that at, let's say, 7, 8 years old. Now all that's changed. Somebody's telling you to think different, act different. That will be a problem. Then there will be rebellion. And the grown-ups, they start to see signs down the road. I think I signed up for the wrong play club. This ain't working out. Hell yeah, especially if one of them elders start looking at your wife, start looking at one of your daughters, and you ain't on board with that. Oh, share alike. Because I got a feeling that probably goes on too. Probably a little sharing of the wives. My thing is, think for yourself. I don't have to agree with how you think. You don't have to agree with how I think. I don't have to agree with how you worship. Vice versa. But think for yourself. Don't get yourself caught up because you're listening to somebody you like or you've known since grade school, high school, college. And now it's like, oh, I want to try on these shoes. Because that's what really these religions are like. Trying on a different pair of shoes. Well, I've been wearing gaiters all my life. Let me try on me a soft cushion shoe. Oh, it feels comfortable. But do you really want to wear it every day? That's the point. It's the same thing. Yeah, I remember hearing that about in the scripture, the lady's head should be covered. But there are a lot of things really we don't conform to that's in the Bible in modern day. We just don't. You're entitled to your interpretation if it's right or wrong. But I think that's what people have been doing over the years is borrowing from the Bible and putting out what they want to sell to their friends, associates, their church. Because I've learned that with the Latter-day Saints, it started off one way and then some people broke off and now it's something else. That's what happens. Same thing with that Warren Jeff's business. I've been meaning to bring you that content for 2 years. It's all the same. Somebody got mad, didn't like what they were doing and saying, or they didn't want to conform, but they wanted to take a piece. They wanted to do, just a portion of that religion. So, let me go start my own group. This happens all the time. Methodist, Lutheran, all of it. It's all, because I think Lutheran is what? A break off from the Catholic Church, if I'm not mistaken. It's all the same. People get tired of listening to what the elder is saying or the book, and then they say, I want to do it my way. I want to add something different. I want to take away something different. What I want to know is, what does it have to do with this kid? It's this harsh, strong-arm way of living. Do as I say, be who I think you should be, cause this man to act out, beat up his kid, and it's a child alive. Let's go to my community page. Once again, I apologize for being a little bit dead space during the live because I was messaging somebody thinking they had some information pertaining to the boy child, and obviously they didn't. Don't know if they were the same person that commented on the page. See, that's the whole point of what I keep saying about the chat. When people comment, one, you don't know who they are. You don't know if there's any truth or validity to what they're saying. You can either agree or disagree. And it threw my whole momentum off during the live because I was trying to message them while still maintaining the live stream. And they weren't the person who I thought they were that was commenting under the video. And then that comment got erased somehow alongside my response. So when the person reached out on IG, I thought they were the same person. As you heard on the live stream, they were saying, I'm not that person, but I know of the woman, Kristen. And I was like, I wasn't talking about Kristen. I was talking about the person who was commenting. Because the person commenting alluded to the fact that they were a relative and they knew Bryson because they were related to him. They grew up together. So that's who I thought I was talking to, the person that made the comment on the video, on my video, that they were related to the boy child and grew up with him. But then this person's all over on 15th Street talking about Kristen and all that. I'm not talking about Kristen. I knew her through town and saw her around. Well, do you know her or you don't know her? See, all that makes me believe it's just somebody trolling and then following me on IG. So you don't know people. That's why I'm looking at these women in these videos. Hell, trying to see if this might be one of them women in there. You just don't know people. They're throwing in another YouTuber's name. Then you comment on their video. I haven't commented on his video. I don't even watch his videos. I don't even follow that person on YouTube. So I know I ain't commenting on the video. Not in my chat or on their channel. See, just foolishness. You don't know what to believe. I'm going to share the guy's post, Elder Kabir, reason for why he left the church. And then we can talk about it another day this week. Okay? Now, somebody has done a video called Eternal Treasures, a disturbing documentary on Pastor Dow and Straightway. So I'm going to share that to my channel too. You all watch it. Let me know what you think. Comment below the video. Go to my community channel and we're going to discuss the polls. I don't know about the Straightway Ministries and all this Pastor Dow nonsense. It's just too much. 3-part live, everybody. I asked you what happened to Taylor Casey in the Bahamas. Gigi says, doesn't seem to be a lot of info on this case. I think she met an evil guy who did harm to her. Will the FBI investigate missing Taylor Casey? 32% yes, 46% no, 22% says they're not sure. Once again, Chandler Kuhbander's mom says she wants to bring awareness to men abused by women. Do you think her son was emotionally abused by Reagan? 91% says yes, 9% says not sure. Is Bryson Mure hit? 64% yes, 36% not sure. Is Bryson Mure alive? 10% yes, 30% no, 60% not sure. So it's more, you all are not sure out of 30 votes. Someone says maybe they are hiding him till his wounds heal. I don't know. Could be. Do you think the yoga retreat staff or patrons are involved in the disappearance of Taylor Casey? 21% yes, 4% no, 61% not sure, and 14% says it could be an outsider, townie, guest from nearby hotel. So 61% of you are not sure if the yoga retreat is involved in the disappearance of this young lady. Now, you want to know more about Pastor Mure, Real Intimacy with My Wives. This is on that Straightway Help Meets channel. He's talking briefly about his wives having intimacy during prayer. That's also on my community page if you want to hear that 1 minute, 49-second video. So most of you don't know what to think pertaining to Bryson. Those are the few questions I asked on my poll. I haven't seen anything latest pertaining to this child's disappearance, but I will pull up some more information before I check out of here to see if there's any new updates pertaining to his disappearance. So I brought you commentary that the grandmother has spoken out. She doesn't understand why her daughter would allow this man to beat the child. A silver alert has been issued in the state of Indiana pertaining to the disappearance of this child. So far, I don't see anything new pertaining to an update of this boy child. Just that the search continues. The grandmother says, I didn't want to let him go. I tried to call the police because he had been abused. Bryson's so conditioned or brainwashed to their way of living that he wanted to go back. So I brought you that information last night. Police won't stop looking for Bryson Mure. News Nation. Police sergeant speaks out. We'll play that before I check out of here. Is the church involved? Do they have knowledge? Who all was living on the compound in the houses with Bryson, with his parents? How many women were living in the house? How many wives are there? How many children were living in the house? Where is this boy child? News Nation is the source. Thank you for joining me. One second, everybody. Try to get this information pulled up.
Time. Any leads at this point in finding this teen?
So yeah, right now we are looking into and exploring several different avenues. But again, with respect to the ongoing investigation, we would not like to disclose the measures that we are taking. However, we would like the public to know that we are diligently working towards finding Bryson, and we will use every resource available to us in doing so.
Understood there are some things that you cannot say, but in terms of the public looking out for this teen, is it focused on Indiana and Ohio, or does it go across state lines?
Yeah, so as of right now, it's pretty localized here in Indiana, specifically around Logansport and stuff, yes.
Okay, how about the parents' cooperation? Our report just indicated that they had planned on coming in for a meeting. Are you all in contact with the parents?
As of right now, we are in contact. They did get legal counsel. They did agree upon meeting last week at noon at our Indiana State Police Crew Post. However, backed out right before that, which signaled an unwillingness to cooperate, and they sought legal counsel. So yes, we are in contact with their legal counsel to try and get to the parents.
What more, Sergeant, can you share about the last time that Bryson was seen?
Let me go back to what he just said. Hold on.
In contact, they did get legal counsel. They did agree upon meeting last week at noon at our Indiana State Police Crew Post. However, backed out right before that, which signaled an unwillingness to cooperate, and they sought legal counsel. So yes, we are in contact with their legal counsel to try and get to the parents.
What more, Sergeant, can you share about the last time that Bryson?
So they've gotten legal counsel, and the sheriff or whomever police department has sergeant has reached out to the legal counsel. So what has the legal counsel said to the police sergeant? They're going to comply. They're going to bring the child. What? Why would you go get a lawyer? This is a lot of information. Why would you go get a lawyer when all you had to do was meet with them and show the child? So did they not show the child because the child's face was battered? But as I said last night, why would you take the child, let the child see the grandmother? Allegedly, the grandmother met her halfway in between because they're in two different states. Parents live in Indiana. Grandmother lives in Ohio, upstate Ohio. So why would you allow the grandmother to even see what he looks like? See, all this is very bizarre to me. Nothing makes sense pertaining to this case. Nothing. This church, this religion, these YouTube channels, these Facebook groups and posting and talking about wives and this drunk leader, elder of the church, Mr. Dow, people commenting on other people's videos. He's a drunk on live streams, but yet you're supposed to be leading a flock of people. An elder should not be imbibing alcohol, a pastor, preacher, bishop. Now, a regular person wants to imbibe in alcohol and still believe in God, that's between them and God. But you're supposed to be leading the pack. So you should not be drinking alcohol, imbibing in drugs, nor should you have many, many wives. I said that. I don't know what good book you're preaching from, but you can't be preaching from the Bible with a bunch of wives because you know God ain't told you to have no damn wives. As I said, you never heard of a bunch of women in heaven with Adam. So if they wasn't in heaven with him, they wasn't on earth with him. It's the same damn thing. Just stop it. It's nonsense.
And was seeing his location and the extent of any injuries he had at the time.
Yeah, so the last time that Bryson Mure was last seen was leaving a family member's residence in Ohio. It was called in by a family member. Traffic stop was conducted on the vehicle that was driven by mother, Kristen Mure, and Bryson was not in the vehicle. So that would have been the last time we've seen him, would have been on that June 16th and that leaving the parents' home.
Our report indicated that his father is a person of interest in the case. Can you elaborate at all on his potential involvement?
So what I can tell you is that the mother and the father are both parties of interest, and we would like to speak with them. We have a lot of questions that we need answers to the injuries that Bryson sustained.
What is the level of concern and danger he may be in right now?
As of right now, he's still missing and considered in danger.
How are you coordinating, Sergeant, with the investigators in other areas, particularly as we hear of allegations that there may be some involvement of this religious group in Tennessee?
Yeah, so we are in contact with some agencies. Obviously, we all like to use our resources available to us, and we all work together because ultimately we want to find Bryson. We want to find Bryson and not only make sure that he's okay, but we want to make sure that he is safe. With regards to the religious organization, we do not have much information other than what is currently being talked about by the public. However, regardless of the religious organization, the Indiana State Police will not stop trying to find Bryson. That's our ultimate goal. We want to get eyes on him.
Have there been calls before about Bryson's safety and any domestic issues that Indiana Police
Very good question.
are aware of?
We do not have any information on that as far as prior involvement of being in danger.
The call that came in was from the Grand. Any evidence or clues from?
I do not have any information on Bryson's social media information.
What is your message?
Probably wasn't on
to the
social
public
media.
in Indiana and elsewhere to be able to help and assist you all in this case to bring this boy home safely?
You know, the Indian State Police we're looking for any information to point us in the right direction to find Bryson. We know someone out there has information, and we ask that they do the right thing and come forward. If they do have any information on Bryson Muir, please contact the Indiana State Police Peru Post at 765-513-9907 or simply dialing 911.
The parents you mentioned have lawyered up. What is the message to them at this point?
You know, do the right thing. You know, our kids are our most prized possessions. We want to make sure that they're all safe and okay. Please come forward. Please do the right thing, and let's talk about it and find Bryson, make sure he's okay and get through it.
Does Bryson have any siblings, Sergeant? Any other kids in the custody of these parents?
I do not know.
Okay. Sergeant Stephen Glass, I'll let you get back to work, but we'll be in touch. Thank you for your time and what you can share about this ongoing search. We hope Bryson is home safely soon. We'll stay on the case. Thank you for
News Nation is the source. She asks questions I did want to hear. Does he have any other siblings? He does not know. Any other allegations or cases of child abuse against the parents? He does not know. So will we find out there are other allegations? People have called in of called an abuse of this child by the Muir'S. See, if you listen closely to people, as my father always said, let people talk. They'll tell on themselves. You learn what you need to know about people. Listen. He's already told you in a video, okay? Or was it him or was it Mr. Dow? I believe it was Mr. Dow, excuse me. But I think it's similar too. Dow told you that his family wasn't on board with him and issues with his, I guess, starting a church in his home, which was probably this same church. And there are allegations of CPS involvement with him. As he said, he struck down 3 allegations, Mr. Dow. So now I'm wondering if Mr. Muir, Daniel Mure, has followed in his friend's footsteps and he's abused his child as well. Because I think it's awfully similar. They're pushing this polygamy nonsense of wives, strong-arming probably children, abusing children. So what are the allegations against Mr. Dow? Did he abuse his children? Because he's been called an alcoholic. So now we got Mr. Muir in cahoots with this Mr. Dow and this religious group. Will we find out that Mr. Muir has been abusing his child, children, his wife? Wives have been going along with the program, abusing the children or standing by, doing nothing. Do the Muir'S have allegations of abuse against them with their children? That's what I'd like to know. Number one, how many wives does he have? How many children does he have? Where is the boy child? Is somebody hiding him out in one of these homes, compounds, communes? Is the child not alive? Why did you hire a lawyer? You only hire a lawyer if you've done something really bad. Let's be truthful. So we've already seen what you've done to the eye. I get to get a better picture of his eye now, where you can see a little bit of his eye. That looks like the right eye in the head or whatever. Right or left, whichever. Why'd you hit the boy? Then the other eye is swole. Underneath the eye is puffy. So what's the end game? Beating up a kid. I'm trying to understand. So then you got to ask, do they have other kids? Beating those other kids up. Okay? One, where are they? Are they in their Indiana home in Logansport, Indiana? Because I thought it was Goshen, Indiana. So where the hell do they live? Shit, I don't know. Logansport, Ohio. Grandmama lives in Ohio. They live in Logansport. Where are the Muir'S? Where is the boy? Is the boy with them? Is the boy hid somewhere in a compound commune? Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee. Is the child alive? Why did they hire a lawyer? Did they hire a lawyer because they know they beat the child up? They expect charges? Are you all going to issue a warrant? Indiana State Police. Are you going to issue a warrant because they did not bring the child as you asked them to? Because they should be bringing the child. So that should be a warrant right there. You have not produced the kid. That's how Megan Boswell got arrested here in East Tennessee. She could not provide baby Evelyn. She could not provide baby Evelyn, number one. Number two, she lied to the police about the whereabouts of the child. Investigation led them to the child, which showed, one, the child was dead, and that's how they knew she lied. Sending them on goose chases over here, over there, Virginia, this place, that place. So that's how Evelyn Boswell got arrested. It's because, one, they found out the child was unalive. They found the child. That's the one charge. Lying to police. Lying to authorities. Okay? Will that be the same situation here? They will get information through cell phone data that these people have harmed the child, and they'll issue an arrest. You should issue an arrest just because they won't provide the kid. Non-compliance. State says, we want to see the kid. Department of Human Services. You have not provided the child. So that should be a warrant automatically. I'm giving you until this time to come show up with the child. You don't show up with the child, we're issuing an arrest warrant, and you cannot get out of jail until you show us the child. That's how you get things done. Issue the warrant. Issue the warrant. Tell them they can't have no bond until the child surfaces. Ting, ting, ting. Child surfaces, we'll decide on a bond, the judge. Until then, your ass sits in jail. That should have been done a while ago. Playing these mind games with the Muir'S is a waste of time. Because right now, that's all you're doing is playing games. Yes, obstruction. That's simple. We believe the child's life is in danger. We've seen pictures. He's been battered. He admitted to the grandmother, you hit him. Where's the boy? I don't even know what we're talking about up here, really. Now they've gone and gotten a lawyer, which is a bad sign. What do you need a lawyer for? So you're either getting a lawyer because you know the child is battered because you did it to him. And you can't produce him with the beat up eye. But the pictures don't lie. So this is not an episode of how to put makeup on your face and pretend you've been beat up. So did you get the lawyer for that reason? Well, we can't produce him because we beat him up. They're going to arrest us anyway. So we get a lawyer. Well, just tell the truth. Yeah, we beat the kid up. I got crunk, hit the child more than once, and then produce the child and keep it moving, and then the state decides what to do with the child. Or it's the worst case scenario. We hired a lawyer because we know the child is dead, and we know eventually they're going to find the child. Is that the scenario number two? The child is no longer alive, and that is the sole reason that the Muir'S hired an attorney. As you heard Pastor Dow saying, he knows that they hired an attorney. He won't be talking on the matter. He has spoken with them. He's going to let everything play out judicially. Everyone needs to quit assuming they know what happened in the case. The media is sensationalizing this case. But see, what you should be telling your friend, hey, take the child to the police department. Stop talking all that old wishy-washy talk about what we think and what we're assuming and what the media is doing. That has nothing to do with a black eye on a baby. Who cares about what the media is doing? Who cares what people are saying on social media? That ain't got nothing to do with a black eye. See, this is what kills me about people who ride or die with heathens. They always got an excuse for what they've done wrong. Oh, I'm supporting them. You're supporting somebody that beat up a kid. So you're supporting them because you are the same. Is that not right, Pastor Dow? And you don't seem to be in a good light your damn self from what these people are saying on social media, YouTube about you and this church. You just a creepy, crawly pastor wannabe. Sitting up here getting drunk and crunk on live streams talking about God and Israel and Hebrews. Just stop the nonsense. And those women walking around in them long-ass, hot-ass dresses and scarves on their head, walking around like damn zombies. They miss their old life of talking and maneuvering in the world. You can still walk around with a long skirt on. and put some lip gloss on, it won't kill you. Trust me, I don't think God's going to hold it against you. Be yourself. Because we do live in a modern world. And what kills me about people who want to live in the modern world and when they want to teeter-tatter on, pretending it's the Waltons versus Little House on the Prairie versus New Day. Just stop it. You can't decide to put your foot halfway in the modern world and halfway out. Well, I'll drive a big boy truck, but I'll put it in the church's name and milk the system and be tax exempt and have everybody walking around with no makeup, no jewelry, headscarves, and long skirts on. Just choose a box. Just choose a box. That's all you have to do. But this is how a lot of people navigate. They want to walk around with AR-15s and all that old type of nonsense, but then they don't want to comply with the government, pay taxes, pay bills, live off the land for free, do what they want while on the earth, but don't want to pay taxes, don't want to be involved with the government, the state, don't want nobody telling them how to live. Well, nobody wants to pay taxes and pay bills, if that's the case. Nobody wants to keep paying a light bill and a gas bill and a mortgage. Nobody wants to keep going to the grocery store paying high dollar for food. It is what it is. Nobody wants to pay $10 for 12 bars of soap. But you can't think you're going to just live on the earth and do what you want. It doesn't work that way. There are laws. It's just the way it is. And yes, a lot of those laws came from the Bible. They did. Whether you're a Christian or not. Whether you believe in Christianity or not. Whether you believe in God or not. But there is some salty business with these church groups. This Straightway Truth Ministries or the Servant Leaders Foundation, whichsoever, it's all the same. It don't look good. It don't sound good. And I won't doubt that this Mr. Dow and his cronies are misleading people, women, men, children, for their own self-serving reasons, to be relevant, to be important. And that is what you're seeing with most of these religious cults, atheism, whatever you want to call it, Wicca, I don't care, witches, warlocks, unicorns, it's all the same. Somebody is displeased and they want an audience. That's all this is about. Point blank simple. I want to be validated. I want to be important. Follow me. Look at me. Do what I tell you to do, but not as I do. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And the thing about these people, when they leave the earth, they're going to go to what? Dust. They'll be a non-relevant motherfucking factor. Nobody's going to care. And if they owe the government, defrauding people, everything they own will probably be seized. Won't have nothing to leave nobody. The point is, there's a child's life at risk, at stake, as you heard this sergeant speaking. Stephen Glass with the Indiana State Police. They are vehemently looking for Bryson Mure. His welfare is important to them. And they said they do not care about some church group. And I'm glad he said that. But see, I don't know why anybody feels like somebody's going to be intimidated by some jackasses with AR-15s. Just as quick as you can pull out an AR-15, 20, 30 more law officials can pull out an AR-15. What's your point? Don't get it twisted. Just as quick as you stand up, you can lay down. And that's reality. No one is exempt from laying face down. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Nobody cares. That's why I'm saying, in the end, if this is nefarious business, these people will be null and void. We'll be talking about another story after them. And that's what you need to understand about man and woman. They are just that. Clumps of flesh. Nothing special. That's why you have these type of oddball religious groups, cults. It's because these people want to be relevant. But they are no more relevant than the guy across the street and the guy down the street. Football player, ex-football player, monkey see, monkey do. Nobody cares. That's my content, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below. Comment on the shorts in the queue. Comment on the videos shared. I've shared some content to give you more information pertaining to this religious group. Let me know what you think of it. I will be back with more content and commentary pertaining to the Muir'S, Bryson, the grandmother, law enforcement, and where this investigation is going. And also Mr. Dow and his cronies. What's their role in this? Do they have knowledge where the child is? Is the child alive? Number one. Or is he hidden? Take the poll. Prayers for Bryson Mure. And prayers for anybody who's getting themselves wrapped up in this type of lifestyle. I advise you find you something else to do. Live your best life. Because in the end, the only person that can stand account for you in this life is you. These people will be nowhere around when you have to stand before God and all your sins and ways will be up on the scroll. These people they won't be nowhere around. And trust me, they won't be jumping in line to stand account for you. Live the life you want to live. And don't let anyone talk you into going off the grid to sleep in tents and live in the wilderness, walking around, doing things you just don't want to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You don't want your children raised or something, then don't do it. Don't sign up for it. Don't allow it. Because as I said, these people are narcissists or psychopaths. That's what you usually find about people like this, leading people into the abyss. They're psychopaths. They're the same ones that unalive everybody and make a big bowl of Kool-Aid and have everybody drinking it and everybody's laying on the ground 20 minutes later. I think that's obvious. Just a bunch of wayward people hooking up with more wayward people, more lost people. And eventually, when you have this type of mindset, there is always a casualty. And sadly, it may be Bryson Mure. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign Big Angie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats. Always welcome to the live stream, 3-part live. Go back to the beginning of this live stream to get the 411 about the couple out of Georgia, Taylor Casey, and Bryson Mure. Have a wonderful week. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.